Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom. And right now you can get this sweet Scoop Soldier sticker when you order over on cardkingdom.com. Just mention in your order notes that you want a Scoop Soldier sticker when you check out. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Commander Clash. This week is Companion Week. Each of us have built a deck around one of the companions, rather not as our commander, but where they should be, in the companion zone. So we have our commander in the command zone, and we have our companion in the companion zone. Our companion comes with a bunch of deck building restrictions, which is a little bit harder, I would say, to manage in Commander, 99 card or 100 card singleton, rather than some of the other constructed formats. So we'll see how companions end up doing in Commander. Probably not going to be as busted as some of them are in some other constructed formats, but we'll see. We'll see. I could be totally wrong here. But yes, for Companion Week, we are bringing with us a special guest, Joey from EDHREC. Hello, Joey. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
So what deck did you bring for Companion Week?
I'm definitely playing Lutri with Yorion as my companion. 120 cards with a banned commander is definitely what's happening, right?
Dang, pull the wool on us.
No, I am playing Rakdos Greven Predator Captain, and my companion will be Obosh, the odd double damage guy. It's, I don't know, he looks all creepy crawly, but I call him Mr. Hugsy or Tickle Me Wiggly. Or he just wants to hug you with all of his many limbs.
Oh, it looks like such a painful hug, though. I don't know.
Oh, no, you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
All right, excellent. I've seen Greven before. I've never seen Greven with Obosh, so that's going to be interesting. How did you find the deck building restriction of only odd cards?
Tough. But, well, yeah, as we'll probably see, like, it does, when you're slicing half the cards in your deck, you can't play any 2-mana rocks. Like, the speed of the deck has always been what I've loved about Greven, and that is just not a factor anymore, so I've had to adjust in a couple of different ways, find different ways to provide haste instead of boots, different enchantments that provide that, or different types of board wipes as well, because you can't play Damnation. So it does change the soul of the deck a little bit, but at the same time, when I lose life, you lose more life, so I feel like that's an okay trade.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a little bit more of a slow roll, but Greven can still get there. I didn't realize, just when you were saying it, no boots, no Swiftfoot boots, no Lightning Greaves. That's going to be interesting to adapt on that part.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see how it works.
All right, sweet. Next up, we got Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive. What companion did you build around?
So I feel like it's been a minute or two since I've got a chance to play a Panharmonicon deck. So when you told me I had to play a companion, I immediately went to Keruga. You can only play stuff that costs 3 or more companion, but it draws cards when it enters the battlefield for each other permanent you have with converted mana cost 3 or greater. So it's kind of a expensive Panharmonicon deck. Although honestly, other than not being able to play mana rocks, I felt like my deck was pretty normal because most of the big card draw spells I want to play anyway with Panharmonicons. I have EDHREC as my commander, by the way, so I have a Panharmonicon in the command zone. But most of the cards I wanted to play already cost more than 3 mana, so apart from being a little bit slower, since I have to wait until turn 3 to start ramping, it feels like it's got a lot of the good cards that I'd want for the deck. Plus, having a repeatable card draw enter the battlefield effect that I can like flicker and bounce that I always have in hand since it's my companion to start the game seems really good with EDHREC and Panharmonicon.
It was kind of like an emotional roller coaster for me when you said that you were playing a Panharmonicon deck, because I immediately thought you're Ryan, and I was like, no, how did he do it? And then you said, oh, it's just Keruga. And then that was kind of okay with me until I realized Keruga just has that, card draw ability, and it's on EDHREC. So, yeah, that's definitely Panharmonicon. That's definitely everything I expected.
I will dirtle and draw cards as long as you don't kill me really quick, because my deck doesn't do anything for the first 2 turns. So
That's fair. Well, it's going to be a little bit harder for aggro week, just because of how strong the companion restrictions are, or maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. Richard, did you end up going very aggressive this week?
Speaking of strength, I have the best card in all of Magic from the top tables of every legacy, vintage, modern, pioneer, standard tournament. I have brought Lurrus of the Dream Dead.
Oh, man.
And the commander is Karlov of the Ghost Council. So I have some life gain shenanigans. I have a secret sub-theme, which you may or may not see. And my creatures cost 2 or less. So I am on the aggro plan. Spells are not affected. It's not too hard to build a Lurrus deck, as we've seen in every other format in Magic. So it looks like kind of like a normal deck. It's not too bad. Like there are some staples that are expensive I can't play in terms of mana cost, but other than that, it's a Lurrus deck, and I'm gonna try to grind some value out of my graveyard. So I hope you forgot your graveyard hate this week.
Are you saying Lion's Eye Diamonds outside of the budget?
I was like, okay, let me look at the top cards here. Okay, Black Lotus. Sorry, no, can't do this. Mox, no.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness for that. Yeah, Lurrus is like the exact opposite of what Seth's bringing. Seth's bringing like this dirtly slow thing that can't do anything until turn 3, and you're prohibited from playing at least permanents, right? For converted mana cost 3 or less.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to outdraw Seth using Lurrus's ability. So we'll see who wins, Keruga's ability or Lurrus's graveyard ability.
Them's fighting words. I like it. All right, well, that sounds sweet, but I think I've topped everyone here, actually, because I'm running Zirda, the Dawnwaker. This is a Boros deck, and I've seen Zirda, people brew with Zirda to do busted things. So everybody knows, or a lot of people know, that Zirda, the Dawnwaker, has some infinite mana potential, with Grim Monolith or Basalt Monolith being the top 2 options there. And I didn't do that. And I also saw a lot of brews taking advantage of cycling, so building a cycling deck around Zirda Dawnwaker. And again, you know what? I decided against that too. So no infinite combos, no cycling theme over here. I'm doing something very different, something bold, something very innovative. And my commander for this innovative project is Tajik, Legion's Edge, which I actually forgot what he does. Oh, wait, he has haste and mentor. He has some cool things, and he has an activated ability, which is really important, but it's really a Zirda deck, and there's a hidden theme, and you'll see what it is shortly.
Interesting. I don't know if I should be scared or excited, but
I'm gonna hype it up.
Same emotion.
I'm gonna hype it up. I'm gonna get stuck on 2 lands, and that'll be it. That'll be everything. And then Lurrus is just gonna eat me. So this is gonna be all you now.
I really hope I don't get stuck on 2 lands.
Oh yeah, that would be
that's
rough.
like the Keruga nightmare if you get stuck on 2 lands.
Well, hopefully you're running more lands than average. I guess you don't have early ramp.
37, always 37. I never really deviate from 37.
It's a sweet spot. All right, with the deck intros out of the way, let's hop into the game.
It should be interesting. Companions are like, Commander is the one format where I actually kind of like companions because it does feel like a cost, a lot more so than the other formats where a lot of them just get free rolled. So I'm kind of excited to see how functional the decks are, because I do like how it makes you build your deck in Commander.
How heavily did you guys build around your commander? Because, you know, if my companion dies, like, it's not coming back. There's no commander tax for it, right? It's just gone. So I was a little wary about adding all these synergies, and if Lurrus goes away, I'm like, what do I do with all these bad cantrips now?
I do think for mine, like, I'm playing a black deck. I am more comfortable playing reanimation when I know I'll always have a creature that it can target. So yeah, it did affect my decisions there, I would say, but I'm not sure for the non-reanimatory folks.
Well, I can say for my deck, I tried not to push too heavily on Zirda mechanics because, yeah, like, it's a little bit harder for me to get back Zirda. The restriction's not too bad, I guess, because it only affects permanents. But yeah, I didn't want to go too deep on it. And I would say that this deck is probably stronger without Zirda, just because it's limiting a bunch of things that I can do. Because I didn't go like super spell heavy. I have more permanents than I do have non-permanent spells. This hand though, it's fine. All right.
Yeah, I got lands, no ramp, but I'm gonna get up over 3 mana, so we're good.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, I am going first. I'm going first.
Congrats.
Main phase. Yes, I would like to.
We all successfully set our companions. Look at that.
Yeah. Well,
Off to a good start. It actually feels really weird to put it where your commander is when you're building your deck. I was like, well, this doesn't look or feel right. Like, I get too many cards in my deck. There's something else where my commander is, but it works. So apparently that's how you do it.
I mean, also, MTGO has like this weird blue border on them when you put them in the command zone when you're deck building. It doesn't look right, but I mean, it works. So yay.
Yeah. When you were teaching me the ropes on how to play MTGO, that was, I definitely had a mess up where I'm like, oh, that's actually, I didn't get my companion. Oh no, I'm a very, paper player. So this is, a very new experience for me.
Well, I think you picked up all the ropes pretty quickly, I think, when we were doing it. I know I was a complete mess when we started Commander Clash. Like, I think like season 1 is just like a wash in terms of like if you're actually playing the game and winning against other people, or you're just trying to play the game and win against the client. It takes a while. There's a bit of a learning curve, but
I have to. Sorry. You're saying you're giving me a compliment on like I think you picked it up decently, and apparently we're all waiting on me to F6. So. Full on contradiction about that while you're talking. It will take me a moment. I apologize for delays.
No worries.
So Joe, you mentioned you're doing streaming, but you don't really do Modo. So were you doing like paper commander streams?
Yeah. So the EDHREC podcast, the guys, we've all started streaming just via Skype or via Whereby. We're just doing it on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/EDHRECast. We'll have guests on. We've had a couple of really awesome folks on, like Benny Smith, Rachel Weeks, Olivia Gobert Hicks. And we'll just play paper EDH with our webcams pointing down at our playmats because we just really like hanging out with folks. And that is every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST.
So how have you found, I've been wondering about I haven't actually tried it, the webcam paper commander, because I don't know when this episode will go live, so maybe it would have passed, but they're doing like the Command Fest online, that they announced that's going to be all over, webcams like that. So how is the actual like technical aspect of that, Ben? Is it really hard? Like if someone is sitting at home, can't go out to their LGS, wants to get their commander fix, like how hard is it to get yourself set up to play with a webcam like that?
I think it's actually not as difficult. Actually setting it up, like being mindful of glare or something like that, can sometimes be, a bit of a struggle, or just like the zoom on it. We have good webcams. We were already set up for it, of course. Sorry, how do I keep something that I have scried?
When you click on the card, it will let you put it to the top or the bottom.
Oh, that's easy. All right, sweet. I am done after that. I think really the bigger struggle is finding people to play with. Like we already have an established group. So it's easy for us because there's 3 of us on the podcast and then we reach out to a community member. But for other folks who are more reliant on, a group of friends, that might still be something that they can do. But if you are more of the LGS kind of player, finding a community is, I think, a bigger hurdle than the actual mechanics of setting it up.
Yeah, that makes it. It does seem easier if you have like a play group that's doing it together or something, for sure, as far as connecting. But I bet there's got to be some Discords out there somewhere, or something where you can maybe connect with people. I don't know what they are, but I'm sure I would expect they exist somewhere, maybe. Yeah,
absolutely. Just if you reach out to folks online, that's been something really lovely, honestly, is that we are connecting with more people this way, which is really cool. And actually another kind of fun thing that's come up for us. Like, we've got a bunch of really awesome article writers over on our site. And one of our writers, Doug, he just published an article today at the time of recording about the cards, the most popular cards that are the most difficult to play via webcam, stuff that requires you to like look at someone's hand, or, you take a card out of their graveyard and put it onto it. Not really possible via webcam, stuff like that. So, there's a lot of hoops to it for sure. But it's been a very rewarding experience to get to spend this much time with people.
So I don't know if you've run into this or not. Now that you mention some of those tricky cards, how do you like resolve a Gonti or some Praetor's Grasp or something?
You just straight up don't. Like the Gonti is one of the main cards, which is it really sucks because they're a really cool commander, but it's the kind of thing that you might have to pack up if you're playing via webcam.
That makes sense. Yeah. I guess there's just not really a good way of doing it, most likely.
Yeah, there's a couple of cards like that. Villainous Wealth, for example, you don't get to do, that kind of deal. Or even just like a Mishra's Bauble, like, ooh, I'm going to look at the top card of your library. Well, I literally can't.
You'd have to like open up a private channel and talk about it. Like, yeah. Card is actually this.
Oh, so Tomer's playing Affinity over there? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, where's my artifact destruction?
I'm definitely playing a slow start. I'm essentially the Karuga player right over here.
Why are you playing
there's someone about to hit
lands?
5 mana as well.
I'm playing artifact lands? I don't know. There's things.
Tomer.
I'm not doing anything infinite. Did I mention in the intro? No infinites.
I know I feel bad for you because I have a card in my hand that's might incidentally blow up your mana, even though I'm not trying to blow up your mana.
You're Bane of Progressing me this early?
I mean, not yet. That's still a few mana away, but...
All right. You don't have to do it, by the way.
Oh dear. That's scary.
It's Nebraska.
Yeah, that's fine. We're not going to just die to Greven, I'm sure. And Obosh.
Oh, no, I'm sure
This is fine. This is fine.
It's just...
I'm more afraid...
I don't get to run boots. I have to find haste in some way.
It's a good haste enabler. What's anger at? I think anger's 4, right?
Anger is 4, yeah. So I lose that one.
I'm more afraid of this Bane of Progress.
I would like to attack a person.
So that's a good choice. Ugh.
Oh, Seth even has the extended art Keruga. Look at that.
I don't even know how you guys are finding that. I just realized that I can expand things with the plus or minus button to see other people's battlefields just like a minute ago.
Were you playing with no battlefields visible?
I was for a minute. I was just like,
so
pretty difficult. A soul's attendant.
Only I don't see everything.
Yeah, I'm a very analog player. I spend my entire workday on a screen, so I really enjoy my hobbies to be non-digital. So this is a very new experience for me, but it is also still a really great way to play. But yeah, again, apologies for delays. I'm hoping that the haste makes up for my delays.
Oh no, you're doing fine.
Yeah.
So how many paper decks do you have then?
About 10. Actually, just yesterday, I went through kind of a weird timeline on what my decks were, because it's been fun to like track their journeys. Like I had a Titania deck, which became like an Almnath deck, which became a Gitrog deck, which became a Windgrace deck, and now it's a Titania deck again.
Full circle.
But yeah, I've got about 10. Most of them are graveyard based. I really love sacrificing stuff. Sacrificing stuff is my all-time favorite thing to do.
So probably a lot of black X decks or whatever.
You might say that I have like a type. I've got a Mirren deck. I've got a Mimeoplasm deck. I've got a Sir Conrad list, which is my baby right now. I kind of have like a preference.
Hey guys, what's the bounce land for Orzhov called?
Orzhov
Basilica?
Oh wait, yeah, Orzhov Basilica, yeah.
Is it Orzhov Basilica?
Yep.
Are you sure? Yeah. Are you sure you want to play a bounce land, Richard?
Yes. Are you
running strip line too? Like, what are you doing over there?
I don't know if I've ever seen anyone on Commander Clash play a bounce land and not get punished for it. So I just don't play them anymore because
I'm the body tutoring, so I feel so bad. I have to get some extra value out of my lands here.
Seth, are you gonna like Bane of Progress in the strip mine? Like, I don't even understand what your lines are right here.
I will tell you, Tomer, I don't actually have Bane of Progress in my hand. It is in my deck somewhere, but I have another card in my hand that might incidentally hurt your land plan.
What do you have that instantly hurts everything?
Man, I come on here expecting a nice, jolly old time. We'll play with some companions, and Saffron's here talking about, like, so I'm going to destroy your lands.
I'm going to make you cry in this game. That is my goal. Just incidentally. I don't mean to.
I didn't force you to play an artifact land or Richard to play a bounce land. That was your that was your choice.
All right, interesting.
So Zirda time?
I want to hold off on.
Wait, who's your commander? Tajik.
So I guess we should probably like talk about companions a little bit. No, just like our impressions of them. I mean, Seth, you'd mentioned that earlier you feel more comfortable with them in Commander than in the other places. We actually just, coming out today, well, at the time that we're recording this, we just released an episode about the data that we've accumulated so far for companions to see what the most popular ones are, both as a commander and as a companion, which was a whole lot of fun. But I'm just...
What did you discover? I'm curious. I haven't actually got to listen yet. What companion or companions are most popular right now?
Well, if you go to YouTube, you'll find the episode. plug. I actually kind of want to make you guys guess. What do you think are the most popular ones?
So, well, we know Yarion and Lutri are technically not legal. So those are two that are off the list for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Seth's Keruga.
I would. I'm going to go with the odds and evens, actually. I think maybe Garuda and Obosh?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You're all wrong. But here's the thing. Like, what we have is a lot of initial data, like the really easy swaps.
What is the easiest one, then, to just, like, run in a deck, then, do you think?
Out the gate, Kahira is by far and away the number one companion because it's so easy for any Arabo deck to just auto slap it in because everything's already a cat. You're not running any non-cats. But we do have Gigantha taking up the rear at like, I don't know, it's like 600 Kahira companion decks and then like 120 something for Gigantha. It might have been 150 or 60. I'm a little hazy on the numbers at the moment. But this is also just the initial first wave, which is something that we discussed on the episode. Like, this is just the first stuff, and we'll see what evolves from there. I personally expect Gigantha to become much, much, much more popular in the future because it is, I think, one of the easier ones to actually meet the restriction, and there's a limited number of Kahira decks compared to like the infinite number of 5-color decks that you can play. And there aren't too many like double mana cost symbols that Gigantha would restrict. Keruga is currently in 3rd place and Zirda is like dead last.
Zirda seems tough. Like that is a pretty big restriction. I assume that Zirda was going to be, my guess it would be pretty low. It's obviously powerful. I wonder, so, second question, is it very different as far as playing them as commander? Because I would assume that Zirda would actually be potentially a fairly popular Boros commander.
Yeah, one of my favorite revelations when we get to it happens near the end of the episode that we discussed, like there's almost an inverse relationship between as a companion versus as a commander. So Zirda, when we recorded, it was the number one commander of all of those different options, but the last place companion, and Kahira was the last place commander, but the number one companion.
That is definitely interesting. So yeah, my experience has been, I built a couple of companion-based decks so far, Keruga and Garuda, and I found it to be really interesting. I'm not a big fan of them in other formats, but I think...
I would agree with you. I agree very much.
I like that it makes you play cards that you wouldn't normally play. It's one thing I've noticed as someone who plays Commander all the time, like, and is building Commander decks on basically a weekly basis, is... eventually you get to the point where you don't have to think about it that hard. You know the good mana rocks, and they go in your deck. You know Cultivate and Kadama's Reach, and they go in your deck. You know, whatever Acidic Slime is good at blowing up artifacts. And it kind of becomes a little bit automatic sometimes. And when you have a companion, all of a sudden, it's kind of like building commander decks for the first time again. You actually, like you were saying, you can't just play Swiftfoot Boots because you need haste. You actually have to go back to the drawing board and figure out like, oh, what can I play to give my companion haste or my commander haste that fits this restriction. So I really have enjoyed the deck building aspect of companions and commander.
Speaking of which, I figure we should play one of these. I'm gonna tickle someone with Obosh. He's looking really
quite the tickle. That is
both of them have haste. 14. So someone's getting 14 damage.
I think I heard Tomer say that he was hoping to get tickled.
What? I don't want to be quoted on that.
That's a lot of damage.
It is a lot of damage. Who am I most afraid of? You know what? I don't think there's any. You're playing Yarok, man. And when you play Keruga, you're going to draw like 98 cards, and like that's
fair. I'll take a million.
I would attack Seth too. Just because I know the Bane of Progress is coming.
If it looks like I'm gonna die, I'm just gonna blow up your land out of spite on the way out the door. So keep me alive, Tomer, if you want that ancient den.
Well, I know you need 6 mana for that Bane, so to play around that.
Huh.
I should have negotiated with Seth. I didn't realize the Dryad could ramp other players. Oh, wait.
It only hits
yeah.
forests, though, unfortunately, so it doesn't actually help
It
anyone.
doesn't matter, right? You search for your forest and you give it to someone else?
Search your library for forest and put it on under a target. You can actually help people. That's like a group hug card.
That's actually pretty sweet.
You're right. I could have helped someone.
Oh, you have forest walk. I understand the synergies now.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 4 mana this turn.
So what's everybody's favorite companion in terms of commander so far? Does anybody have any favorites?
I mean, I'm trying out Obosh. I actually also tried Keruga with Rune. I don't know, just sort of building them. I kind of side with Olivia Gobert-Hicks on this one. I'm surprised. I think I'm probably against companions being allowed in Commander, just sort of in general. But I don't know, like I'm kind of getting past that. I have a lot of frustrations with Ikoria in general. I sort of side with Prof's evaluation of it, that it was very certainly not my scene. It kind of left me with a bad taste in my mouth. But I probably Obosh just feels the most bonkers. Like this is a dictate of the twin gods for just your stuff. That seems really good. I don't play red a lot, so it's nice for me to find an exciting red card.
Yeah. I get a healthy respect for Obosh now, especially with this Greven potentially coming down. I feel like I might just be dead.
No idea
next
what you're
turn.
talking about.
Don't worry, I'll save you, Seth, with my GT. Just give me more counters. I just need 2 more counters. We can kill like one thing.
Yeah, we're getting there. We could use a Wrath.
Well, you have a bounty agent. I could get rid of Urbask or Greven. You're
That's only one of them.
You're fine.
I don't know if I have a
Lurrus deck is policing the board here.
I don't know if I have a favorite companion yet, honestly. I built a couple of decks, but I feel like I wanna build some more before I really have a favorite.
Oh my!
They've left such a bad taste in my mind from all the normal tournament
Which I think
play
is fair.
that I'm like, I don't know. And actually, to be fair, since we've played with so many weird themes, I actually found Lurrus one of the easiest decks to build. I'm like, okay, CMC less than 2 colors, and then we'll go, right?
I think most constructed formats will agree with that assessment.
Yeah.
I do think that there's kind of an awkward situation. For example, with Obosh, like if you look at the card Insult to Injury, like that is a split card that has 3 mana on one side and 3 mana on the other side, and you can't play it in Obosh, which is the kind of thing that I expect will trip people up in paper.
It seems like you should be able to play it like that, especially if you aren't like super enfranchised and know all the rules and the rule changes. Like intuitively, I would think, oh, I should be able to put that there, like both odd converted mana cost. So that actually makes a lot of sense to me that'll be an issue.
Yeah, my concern with Companion isn't the person who's like got some sneaky cards in there because they're trying to take advantage of it or something. They're like, ooh, I skirted the restriction and hope my opponents are that's not a fear for me. But folks accidentally not realizing that something doesn't meet the restriction and then feeling like, oh, well, that just kind of scuppered the entire game because of that restriction. Like, oh no, like that's a really feel bad situation that I'm very afraid of happening to folks.
I feel that's not a new issue,
really hope
though.
they don't run
like,
into.
I'm sure you see it on EDHREC a lot. A lot of people like don't get color identity correct.
Yes.
I would say I get multiple emails a week or a month of people like, this deck says it's illegal, but no. Right?
I think
but I'm like, no, you're not getting color identity correct.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, already on the comments of our companion episode, someone was asking, well, wait, why don't you have data for the Yorion companion? It's like, oh, well, it's not actually, you can't play it in Commander. That would be why. But yeah, color identity or just a couple of those little rules, especially in a format like this one that prizes, having such a good time, and doing fun, zany stuff like that. It is kind of awkward when you run into those rules because they're not always super intuitive.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I feel like companions, I think they're kind of neat in Commander. I'm honestly kind of neutral on whether or not they should be in Commander or not. But when I do think about just all the rules headaches that companions entail, I think power level wise, they're on the side of kind of okay. I feel like the restrictions are big enough in Commander that at least most of them aren't going to be too much of a headache. Like even Obosh is really scary, and the fact that you just have it in your starting hand every single time for free. Well, not even your starting hand, better than your starting hand. It's just a free 8th card that you have access to throughout the game. I mean, that's incredibly powerful, but like you said, you did have to cut a lot of cards just to make that work. So there are some risks, whereas like Lurrus and like older constructor formats, there's just nothing you had to really change for it. It's just like a freebie. So
it's funny to me that you started that by saying that you were a little worried about the rules complexities of something like Companion. I really thought you were going to talk about Mutate.
Mutate has been a whole can of worms. I struggled a little bit. I had to do I did a $20 upgrade on Enhanced Evolution, which is all about the mutate mechanic, and like doing the research on it, there was a lot of times where I just was like, hey, Judge Buddy, can you explain the interaction with these two cards? Do they work? And then even when I got a real answer, like multiple judges have given me different answers to certain card interactions. Like Brood of Cockroaches was the one. I got two different judges gave me 2 different responses to it, and I'm pretty sure it does work, but again, not really sure. So Brood of Cockroaches says at your end step, like if the creature died, at your end step you can pay 1 life and then return it back to your hand. But like so between the time it dies and your end step, there is like a gap of time, like phases can occur during that time. I got a judge who said initially that all the creatures merged onto Brood of Cockroaches returns to your hand. So if you merge like Otrimi, the Ever Playful, onto Brood of Cockroaches, like the merged creature dies, and then Brood of Cockroaches' ability triggers at your end step, both Otrimi and Brood of Cockroaches returns to your hand for 1 life. So that's what I was going for. And then after my video came out, I got another person who contacted me who's also a judge and says, actually, because of the state-based actions or such and such, only Brood of Cockroaches returns to your hand. But other cards that work kind of similarly that return to your hand immediately when it dies, those work, but Brood of Cockroaches does not. So I'm not even sure if that interaction even works right now.
Oh yeah, I asked on Twitter, just asking folks like, hey, if I blink a token that had a mutate on top of it, what happens? And I got 4 different answers. People saying that like, oh, the thing comes back as a separate entity, but the token goes away forever, or oh, it's like an aura, so it falls off, goes to the graveyard, or oh, they all come back as one. And I'm just like, not all of these can be true. What's happening? So yeah, it's very complicated, and the keyword counters have timestamps. I'm just like, what is happening in this set?
Also, if there's like different power and toughness, like one thing is like your power and toughness is equal to blank, then that is all a can of worms, like pack rats. It's So
Richard, sorry to interrupt your mechanics discussion. Richard, will you will you blow up? I have a Wrath, but I need to not die to Greven. I gotta wait a turn to actually Wrath.
Are you wrathing my artifacts? Because I will be.
If will you bounty agent the Urbrask if Graven's gonna come down and hastily hit me for $1 million?
I feel like this is the alternative to this? Treat your guests, man.
This is actually the norm.
I just want to live. My Wrath has to wait a turn. I got to cast it and wait a turn to have enough mana to Wrath.
Is this like a Navindra's disc?
I could save you.
Sort of.
Is this Oblivion Stone?
O-Stone?
I have a pernicious.
Oh no! I don't know if I like this one. My Jite.
You get to recast your Jite anyway. Yeah, I'm helping you get stuff in your graveyard to cast with your companion.
I don't know about this. I don't know if I'm on board with this.
I think that they want me to kill you, not that they want you to wrath my stuff.
I was expecting.
I guess if Greven comes down, Seth just dies like instantly, right?
Raven's gonna come.
No idea what you're talking about.
At the rest of you afterwards, by the way.
That's true.
I really want
my Ancient Den, though.
I will spite blow up the Ancient Den if I'm going to die.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, he can spite blow up anything,
what did I even do
anyway.
To you, son?
I can't. I will. If it looks like I'm going to die and you're not going to save me, I will Kingmake our guest and just blow up all your stuff and let you die to Greven.
You heard it here. Seth is a kingmaker.
I like how you also threatened to blow up my Ancient Den when you want Richard to cooperate with you. So you're like, don't make me do this, Richard. I'll blow up Tomer's Ancient Den.
I'm not trying to blow up the Ancient Den. It just happens to be an artifact, so it's going to naturally get deedsed.
Jeez.
But my Jite.
I've never had my ancient then so quickly punished.
I'm gonna play this. Where is my... There it is. There it is. I found it. I know how to play Magic. Let's cast you, question mark? There we go. Okay, I think I got it. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Is it Greven time?
I'm trying. I'm
Fantastic. Oh,
there it
all
is.
right.
There it
Here's
is.
some damage.
Mm. So what's the play
Some
here?
damage. Just like a
So
an
if you
incidental
okay,
amount.
so
really.
here's where we're at, Richard. If you blow up Urbrask, I will spend my entire next turn fully wrathing. If you don't blow up Urbrask, I will chump block and just blow up all the cheap stuff and let Greven and Obosh and Urbrask kill you and Tomer.
Well, I'm not afraid of them.
This is a strong
what I'm afraid of them is like you wrathing my board. But like, do I want him to draw like a billion? Like, what does this do? So you draw a
He draws a
million
lot of
cards.
I'll draw cards equal to the power of the creature I sacrifice and lose life equal to its toughness.
So you will draw 4 cards.
I would draw 4 cards if I sacrifice Urbrask, yeah. Which is the more likely one, I'll say. Because, I just want I want my Tickle Me Wiggly doll to, stick around.
So I could bounty agent Obosh or Greven or the Urbrask. Which is the call? Or nothing.
Or nothing.
that last one seems optimal, to be honest.
I would prefer Urbrask, and then I can wrath next turn, and then things are stable for the time being.
Okay. And then we just get hit for 6 with an Obosh? All right.
Who's we? We is not you.
Definitely not
I don't know
me.
what's going
I'm
on,
not
but
saying
my
this
stuff
we
is all
event.
going away anyway, so I feel I gotta do this. Right? Like, if I just let him get hit, he's just gonna spite kill all our little stuff? Or
That is true.
or you draw a bunch of cards, which is not
very
ideal either.
effective strong arm tactic right over here. You have the mana to get rid of all our stuff.
Yeah, except for Joey's
You
stuff.
literally just get rid of me and Richard's board with that 2 mana.
Exactly. Like we have nothing. If it was a wrath, I'd be more happy with it, but my Jite.
My Mask of Memory and my Ancient Then.
This means you get to keep your Ancient End one more turn though until I untap.
Will you at least let me hit you for 1 for the Mask of Memory? Can you do that one kindness before you blow up my land, Seth?
I think you've already drawn more cards than me, Tomer.
That's
On second thought, maybe I'll just blow it up right now.
Wow, man.
Man. I think that this act of aggression has to go punished. I'm attack.
Yeah. This was the 6 damage I was counting.
Richard does have the highest life total, too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
just a little bit off the top is
Yeah.
correct.
I'm Soul Sisters. I need it. You're killing my deck synergy by hitting me in the face.
What do I even cast? Oh. So anything I cast right now on my turn is just going to blow up.
Yes.
I could have stopped it. Kinda.
Stop.
He could have taken outside.
Yes,
the problem is that
could've.
he would have just blown up me and Richard's board. He would have done
But then your future plays would be safe.
Yes, me at 3 mana.
Yeah. That's a nice healthy amount. It lets you cast anything in a Keruga deck.
I mean, I could cast. Yeah, I could cast both my companion and my commander.
Tomer, our aggressive decks are failing miserably.
I know I didn't do anything until turn 3.
The Obosh deck is by far the most aggressive.
I was mana
like
screwed. Oh
triple
my goodness!
ramps.
And then you're hitting me. I thought we kind of like are together in this.
We are, but I'm getting some GT counters.
You can just hit each other
And you're not
for
gonna get them
1
back
to make
against
your
me,
equipment
though.
work.
Oh boy! All right.
I will definitely kill Stoneforge Mystic if you swing at me.
Wait, I swung for 1 card. Oh my god!
I'm just saying.
Richard gets the 2 counters and then immediately removes them to kill Stoneforge. So there was really no value.
But then you'll get. That's potential life loss. Like you could gain more life off that.
Yeah.
That's
Still, you better not be swinging at me.
You know what, Tomer? I feel bad about blowing up your land. I'll take 1.
Excellent.
Very magnanimous.
Just block.
All right.
Surprise block.
I'll feel less bad of passing my turn and not doing anything. I can't believe Richard is going to do that to me. All right. I would very much like to hit a land, as I do not have.
Oh wait, you're short on lands.
Sad.
I missed that throughout all of the other stuff.
All right, draw a land.
Thank you.
No.
What? No! No way, Richard.
Wait. I don't even need to kill it, right? When
remember
Crypt
this.
deals combat damage. Yeah, I just good.
All right.
Y'all are savage.
that's
So
brutal.
savage.
Why would I let you draw cards?
Oh, and I thought I was a bad guy for accidentally blowing up your ancient dad.
I'm rooting for Joey over here. I don't even
I
want his board
appreciate
to be
that.
blown up anymore.
I definitely feel like the underdog in this fight. So
I'm gonna get.
I appreciate your support.
I guess 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is a bit ambitious. I guess. Let's get rid of. Actually, this one is kind of lame.
Wait, what did you fetch with Stoneforge? Oh, Sword of the Animist.
Oh, you got to discard a hand size?
Yeah, because I didn't
It's
hit
like
a
the
land
opposite
drop.
of drawing cards.
Ouch.
So the pre-con cards aren't in MTGO. Is that correct? Have you guys had the chance to play with anything on those? on
C20?
any digital
Yeah, they're
platform,
not.
or-
Unfortunately, they're
not
coming
yet.
out like next month, and not all of them are coming out next month, which kind of sucks. Because I know everybody wants to be
Gotcha.
running. Basically, in every single guest deck list, we notice that everybody's running the free cards, like Deflecting SWAT.
Seth,
and-
I saved you.
You got Jitte counters.
That still cost me 2 life. It's the same. I'm gonna gain 2 life.
Oh, I guess you did save me.
Spite plays.
I just wanted to use a Jitte counter, really.
This is like the worst GTA I've ever seen in my life. It's done nothing.
At
They
least
somehow
your,
got 4 counters
at
and
least
did
your
nothing.
Basilica's safe
Is it?
for now.
Yeah. So
All right.
unfortunately, no C20 cards yet, but I'm hyped for them. I really want to get my hands on them. I think there are like some staples that are going to slot into pretty much every single deck.
Are you going to Pernicious Deed now before he goes to combat and draws cards?
It's what attacks, right?
I believe it's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
Attack trigger, yeah.
a trigger that goes on the stack. So
So
Yeah.
I think I'll wait until we go to combat, so there's no other hasty shenanigans, and then I will
Alright.
blow it.
We're gonna go to combat then. That's the way you feel.
All right, this seems like the fine time to do it. All right, sorry about the land tomer.
are you though? Are you? I think the laugh afterwards
not
makes
really.
me feel like you're not that sorry.
I'm a little sorry since you missed your land drop last turn, but
Richard's not.
I know, right?
okay. So
Gain 2 life.
I survive turn 5 somehow. Wow. Yeah, Obosh is that is a card.
It's a good card.
It is a card. I think I
It's
clicked
now
OK
a
on
dead
this.
card, so until he reanimates it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, what are the odds? Though?
Well,
Jordan's
that's-
playing black. No reanimation.
What are the odds? My entire deck is the odds. Woohoo! All right.
You could have gained more life, Richard. Think about that. Next time,
Could've, but I would
you go down to
gladly pay
exactly
2
0,
life.
and you're like, I would have lived if I was at 2. Okay.
All right. Well, that was just so rude.
I mean, you did hit me for 18 over the last couple turns, so I just
Water under the bridge.
I just want to live long enough to draw a couple extra cards, and then you can Graven me to death.
There we
Okay.
go. Speaking of which,
It's back.
he would like to
He's back.
make his reprise.
Welcome back.
Well, I used my 1 removal spell.
Well, that's actually something I've noticed when I'm when I'm tinkering with these, like the soul of this Greven deck has really changed. Like I could really knock things out very, very quickly with my original list, just because 2 mana rocks, I'll draw a bunch of cards, more 2 mana rocks, and it's just a very, very quick deck. But now, like, I got lucky with an Ancient Tomb in this draw, but I am relying on 3 mana rocks, so I am like a substantially slower deck here. There's more consistency though. But I'm kind of also having like a Keruga restriction where I don't get to play a lot of stuff on the early turns because it's not a lot of 1 mana cards that are worth it. And then I'd have to play something on turn 3. So that really has changed the dynamic where I want a lot more haste stuff in here because I can't have my boots and I can't have my speed in terms of mana. But also, I've added in more on the board wipe to help make up for the fact that I'm going to be behind for a little bit, and I just want the board to be clear when I do drop something into play for the first time to swing out. So the restriction has been interesting, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure if it was like slicing 32 cards out of the deck to make room for a companion feels like, oh my goodness, that's a huge number. But I don't feel like it's been too bad.
So just in terms of like raw power, do you think making those cuts to have access to Obosh makes the deck better, or just different?
I don't think so. It does make it more consistent, but not necessarily more powerful, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. So if you were gonna like play this in some sort of tournament or whatever, like, do you think you would go with the Obosh build or your more traditional build if your goal was just to like CEDH it up and kill people as quickly as possible?
Oh yeah, no, I don't think companions. CEDH is super not my purview. I'm certainly a player who likes to win, but CEDH is well beyond my capacity. And I don't think companions are going to be worth the restriction in that particular sense because there's already so much consistency happening in those particular builds. Hey, that's a Sword of Fire and Ice. That looks nice.
Hello.
I don't like that it gives protection. It gives protection from me, man. I don't play red very often, and now you got pro red. What's going on here?
Just making sure I don't discard down to hand size, missing a little land drop. Thanks, Seth.
No, my concerns for Companion and Commander, I'm also kind of like, I think that it feels weird for them to be here when other sideboard stuff can't be, but I get the difference. I'm fine with it. It's more of a neutral stance, even though it's like, kind of tilt towards a thumbs down. My concern is much more the design implementation for other formats, which is just kind of, or like little things too. Like, can you guys name from memory all of Kahira's restrictions?
Ooh, I think I can just because I played a Kahira deck recently, but I think it's cats, elementals, nightmares, dinosaurs, beasts, maybe?
Beast. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes,
It is a lot though. Yeah.
No, that's them for sure. But if you forget those, then it can be kind of tricky. Like this is a set that has like 3 creature types per creature. So I think that's a really easy restriction to miss when there are so many creature types on that card. On top of the fact that you can play it as companion in like a creatureless deck, which is weird to me.
I gotta say that's one of my least favorite aspects of, there's a lot of things I dislike. I did a video about it. People have probably seen it, but the thing that I dislike, I think, most from a flavor sense is the creature free aspect. Like Kahira is obviously designed to be like this tribal lord in a deck with a bunch of creatures, but the way it primarily sees play, outside of Commander at least, is in decks that just don't run any creatures, which seems so against what the card was like supposed to be doing, which I really dislike that aspect of it.
I think this is what I play. Is this what I play? This seems like it's a fun thing to play. We'll play it.
Oh, that sounds terrifying.
Boom and boom.
No.
How much mana is 3?
Ooh.
It's just a Warhammer. Don't worry about it.
Oh, left hand.
Okay.
Yeah, I've noticed that Greven kind of plays like Alicia Sanguine Tribune is supposed to play, where you like pay life, gain life, pay life, gain life. It's all right. How do I activate this?
It's a bit more aggressive. You can tap
activate
the
the
mana
Warhammer
and then activate the
tap the mana first.
I think,
or you can do the opposite too.
I think it's a little late. I think you're actually already in combat.
Yeah.
What? Oh no! What?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, it says beginning of combat phase. So I don't know how, but I think you inadvertently went to combat pre-equipping.
Well, darn. Oh man. Well, for pointing that out to me so kindly.
No, I wouldn't attack me. Honestly, I'm being. All right, I will take it.
What, you have a death
You have a
toucher
death
there.
toucher, Seth.
I don't want to block.
I've got Menace.
It has
Oh,
Menace.
it's
Oh, he has Menace?
Oh, okay.
Oh, huh.
And I really want my Yarok. I want to cast my Keruga and draw a card
That's all you're gonna do.
as I die to Greven.
You have 5 cards in hand.
That's true. They're very expensive. I'm a Keruga deck.
The Keruga's restriction is 3.
Oh, I thought it was like 7. It's hard to cheat on. There's not a whole lot. There's a few cards that kind of like get cheaper based on certain circumstances, but it's not an easy restriction to cheat, I found.
The Keruga?
All right. Well, now I might as well equip. That's embarrassing.
Next turn.
And I could have gained a bunch of
Next
life.
turn.
Dang it.
Richard's got a nice little army going on.
I have 4 total power here, yes.
Well, got bigger. I believe in you.
Hey, Tomer.
Look
what I got.
Please don't. Oh! Robin, why don't you? I love Mask of Memory. Draw 2, discard 1 is just fantastic, right?
That's a very underrated. Like I don't know. The old adage is that Boros can't draw cards, and I'm just like, can it though? Like I've seen a Bruce Akiri deck with a Mask of Memory, and I'm like, they draw more cards than me, and I play Sultai all the time.
Yeah, colorless options definitely help a ton. And I mean, if you have access to red, I don't think you have any issues drawing cards. There's so many amazing card draw engines in red. Like you could just go like very low convert mana cost and then wheel. Or there's a lot of the incremental ones, like the ones that are basically you can play the top card of your library until the end of turn or the end of your next turn. Those are all fantastic too. Red's like good.
I will say though, it is a little sad sometimes when you're trying to you end up paying like 4 mana with Donna Hope to draw 1 card when you're playing a mono white deck, and meanwhile your opponent is like laughing in Tatiova.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that. But,
white definitely.
There are certainly ways.
Yeah. Mono white definitely has the biggest struggle. Like there's obviously ways, but it's a high reliance.
Well, and I think it's helpful too it's helpful to imagine card advantage in different terms. And here's the other thing that I think is kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'll sound a little bit ranty, but like I feel like Wizards is actually really good at designing cards that would be great mono white or Boros commanders and then forgetting to make them legendary. Like Crested Sunmare would be an amazing mono white commander and it just isn't legendary. Or there's it's like a Capricorn, I think, thing in the Ikoria set that says, hey, if I would be dealt damage, prevent the damage, and I get bigger for that much damage. And I'm like, this would be an epic Boros commander. Are you kidding? Like, that would be awesome. You Blasphemous Act the whole table, and this becomes a huge Voltron, and it doesn't die because it prevents that damage and gets bit. Like, what? That'd be great. But it's just like an uncommon white card instead. And I'm like, no! Like, that's a cool design. Make it legendary.
It's really funny because it seems like Wizards also makes a ton of legendaries, so it's kind of funny that white ends up having some really good options or Boros that aren't legendary when it feels like every other creature is legendary these days.
I know, yeah. And it's also just kind of like, I don't know, when they make Gerard on purpose, but they make Chulane by accident, and you're like, I don't know, guys.
I didn't hit a land, but I'll cast things.
Hey, that can get back your ancient deck.
I'm aware, Seth. Thank you.
You're doing it, Tomer. You're doing it. I'm proud of you.
I'm playing like a full-on Crim deck right now. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, you are crimming it up over there.
I played 36 lands this week, and I immediately got punished.
Don't even know what.
Can that seal destroy artifacts and enchantments?
Yes, it is.
It's either one? Okay.
Yes.
Any of them will do.
Seth, I feel like I don't want to attack you anymore. He's threatening to get rid of my my Loxodon.
Maybe this.
Yeah, I would
didn't
be fine
threaten
with
anything.
that.
I cast a seal of cleansing. However, if my hammer should come this way, it may get cleansed.
It may get cleansed.
Could always
Let's go
attack
for that.
Tomer. I mean, Tomer's not doing much.
He's not doing much over
Oh,
there.
no, you've been mean enough to him.
Ooh, Explorer Skull.
Yep, in case there's a land on top, I'll find it. All right, I'll just pass a Rooney.
What do you think about the Apex cycle or like the mythic mutators? Like what are you seeing? If I don't even know if you've looked this up yet, but what are you seeing in the data as far as those? Are those like popular commanders?
Nethroi, Absolutely. The rest, not really, but Nethro is the number one commander from the main set so far. Because it is not a commander, it is a spell.
Nethra is, that makes sense. I think that's the one that
it's not a creature, it is a spell.
Yeah.
That's the one that I probably like the most, honestly, so.
Oh yeah, it's bonker. I'm considering I've got a +1/+1 counter as Rayhan and Ishai deck that I'm definitely putting Eerie Ultimatum into, but I'm considering, do I put Nethro into this too? Because I've got a bunch of 0 mana stuff. I could get back Rayhan and Colonian Hydra and like a Fathom Seer or something like that. Fathom Mage, Fathom Seer, I'm not sure. But like that doesn't even take up all of the points. It's like that only takes up 1 power point from the Nethro trigger. Like that thing's really, really bonkers busto. But the other ones, not so much. I will say though, here's a hot take. I haven't made up my mind on it, but I'm working on a theory that Brokos might be better than Otrimi for a Sultai Mutate deck.
Ooh. Oh my god.
So folks will probably have already seen the Game Nights episode. I won't spoil anything. I don't want to do that, but the limited like online attempt to play like Tabletop Sim or something like that that I've seen with the with those precons, the games have played out exactly the same as they happen in Game Nights every single time. And Otrimi has just not impressed me. I'm trying to stay spoiler free. But for example, I've never really seen an Otrimi trigger. And there's also like, just looking at numbers, there's only 20 Sultai mutants in the entire game so far, including Otrimi. And so at that point I'm wondering, I'm like, just if the trigger's not super reliable and a lot of the mutants themselves aren't great, is it better to just have Brokos as a constant thing that you can get back from the graveyard instead of having to pay increasing commander tax? I haven't really committed to it, but I just don't feel like there's enough support for Otrimi to really make Mutate happen in the way that we really wanted it to, which is one of my frustrations with the precons themselves. I'm not sure that they really fleshed out the themes like they were promised to do.
I can agree with that. I'm not honestly sold on Brokos taking the commander slot.
Which is fair. Totally fair. I haven't made up my mind on it, but it is a thing that's occurred to me because I haven't been impressed with Otrimi.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Tomer.
Did you just cast this ninja?
Yeah, he's just casting.
Yeah, I did.
What? Saddest Eureka.
Tomer doesn't look like he's in much of a blocking position. I get a feeling I might be able to sneak in against the 3-land player and draw a card.
Oh boy.
But you could have just Keruga'd.
Yeah, I am afraid of this Greven just killing me with this Warhammer. I feel
How
like
does this Yuriko help, though?
So I need to establish, are you planning on using the Seal of Cleansing? Or
if you hit not me, I don't care.
Oh boy.
Okay. You know what? That's fine.
I did leave up 2 mana, just to point that out. Just I'm not gonna.
You are playing a Keruga deck.
You can't cast anything.
but I left up 2 mana.
Well, I mean, you can have
Don't
Forcible
attack
or
me.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, you can have a split card, right?
You can have a split card.
Oh, man.
Maybe it's the worst bluff ever. 2 mana in a Keruga deck.
That could be fun. That could be very fun. Oh, this is fun. All right. We're doing that.
By fun, you mean painful, right?
Whenever Joey says fun, I get a little scared.
Ooh.
This is a Dothi Embrace.
That is painful.
That is a sweet card.
It is.
This is one of my favorites.
Is this the only shadow card that sees play?
Far as I can tell. I think that there's a shadow creature that comes back from the graveyard from Time Spiral that you can like pay a black mana that shows up in a lot of aristocrats lists.
Oh,
but
Nether or something.
Aside from that,
isn't there one that's like just like cantrip, like target creature gets shadow until end of turn, draw a card? I feel like Shuyan. I've played it in Shuyan.
I've played.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah,
I've played the Shadow Looter sometimes.
Shadow Looter's fantastic.
Looter Elcor.
Yeah, I like that one a bunch.
Right.
Okay, I want to do this correctly. I move into combat now that I've properly given him the shadows.
Indeed. All right, now you're in begin combat.
Okay.
I'm just saying, 2 mana. I have 2 mana up.
I have no mana up.
I feel like it's gonna look like I'm being so mean to you, but Yarok is mean, so I feel like I'm justified. So far, I think I'm the only person who's cast their companion, so I want to make sure that remains the case.
Should I save Seth?
I don't need your help.
It doesn't kill him.
I actually.
You could just triple block, quadruple block.
No, he's shadow.
It's got
you can't
Shadow.
block.
Oh, we have Shadow. That's right.
Eureka may be a Tiger Shadow, but I'm Graven with actual Shadow.
I actually was not bluffing.
Ooh, get us bookmarked.
What is this? Oh, that's fancy.
Well done.
Oh, nice.
That is fancy.
It's 4 mana, but it's really 2 mana.
Yeah.
It's actually probably really good with a Keruga deck, I would assume, if you have black in your Keruga deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love like
well done.
those ways to skirt around restrictions. That's why I really like Keruga as a companion. Like some of them I really like, so I would be kind of upset if all of them just disappeared as like just a general like companions are banned from Commander. That would make me a little bit sad, just because like there are some that they kind of build really cool restrictions. Keruga being one of them. I like Garuda. I like the even and odd restriction too. I thought those are kind of neat. Just the ones that are like Zirda, for example. Zirda or Lurrus, where they only care about your permanents, but then they let you cast anything else, and it's totally fine. So you can play like decks with very low number of permanents and just kind of ignore the restriction altogether and you just get an upside. I'm not a big fan of that.
So Joey, you mentioned, and part of the awkwardness with the companion mechanic in Commander is that it's in that kind of like weird outside the game zone, which traditionally doesn't work in Commander, and they've like tried to make a new ruling so it's not the same as wishes and stuff. What do you think of that whole debate? Not only, I guess more, what do you think of having sideboards or having wishes or like Karn the Great Creator work in Commander? Do you think that'd be a positive or a negative now that we have companions working in Commander?
I mean, I get it. It kind of does strike me as like a semantic rule, like, oh, only stuff that brings from outside the game. That's a one-word distinction that makes the rule work the way that they want it to. But I'm also like, I don't know. I'm an editor. I edit the articles on EDHREC, so I usually get into the nitpicky stuff. I usually love it. But in this particular case, I'm kind of like, whatever. Like, I used to play a Krufix deck that used Sponsor of Ulamog to rip a bunch of Eldrazi into play because my whole play group thought it was just hilarious when it could happen. And then eventually they thought it wasn't hilarious, but then it got back to being hilarious after it kept happening. So like that is enjoyable. That is what Commander means to me, is to be able to do crazy stuff like that. And I also love, like, when I was at GP Kansas City, for example, we played against someone who, she asked if she could use her Urza's Headmaster, which is the silver bordered planeswalker, as her commander. And we were like totally here for it. Like those conversations, I'm absolutely down for it. But in terms of like actual like structured rules, which I do like having a base to fall back on, I'm perfectly fine with the like, nah, the wish boards don't work because it gets confusing. Like, agree on their scope before the game starts if you do want to use them. There's a lot of ways that you can negotiate how you want cards to work before the game begins if there's a playgroup that you're comfortable with. But if you are going to be playing against, random strangers, it's nice to have something more concrete. And I mean, Karn Mycosynth just isn't fun, so I don't mind if it's not here.
Yeah, no, that would not be. Yeah, I would not like that. That would not be fun at all. What about?
Hey guys, I have a question.
Yes, what's your question?
How do we feel about mass land destruction?
Oh, are you Armageddoning? Cataclysm?
Do you know how we were talking about how players get to ramp like crazy and they don't get punished whatsoever? And then someone cast an Elvish Rejuvenator with like a Yarok on the battlefield.
I whiffed with one of the triggers. I whiffed with one of the triggers, just so that's clear.
You're right. That makes Yarok less powerful.
So I don't know. What do you guys think of? So I woke up a little cranky this morning before I built my deck.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
And I really debate whether or not Armageddon is an acceptable card or not. And this is like the perfect deck for it. So
I got
what do you guys think about Armageddon?
I was so excited to finally cast some spells, and then you rip it away. I'm personally okay with land destruction as long as they're like in a definitively like ahead position where you can close out the games. Where you're just, I feel like I can close
out the game here, but it's a little. If someone plays land swords, but good thing 2 people here are playing decks with like heavy restrictions.
Yeah, I didn't hit a land drop, which is okay. That's gonna hit for, I don't know. Seth, can you bounce?
But no, seriously, how do we feel about land destruction? Is it okay or no? Like, okay, assume I can close out the game quickly here. Is it okay? If this game doesn't close out, then it's like a drag. It's like playing stacks where you just stacks people don't win. That's like really bad. But if you stacks people and win immediately, is it bad?
I personally am okay with land destruction, but I guess it really depends on your play group, right? Like you always have to like talk to your play group and see what they do and don't like. Like for example, I don't mind Infect, like Triumph from the Hordes and Grafted Exoskeleton, Tainted Strike. These are cards that I've seen played against me or played at tables that I go to, and there's not much of an outrage with it, but like some groups just don't like it. And if some groups don't like it, then I'm always in favor of play what your play group enjoys, because, you know, you're all here just to have fun. So you have to establish what does the majority of people have fun with. So personally, I'm okay with it as long as you can finish it. And it seems like you're going to with that Karlov.
I mostly my thoughts on mass land destruction are actually about like the folks who would perceive mass land destruction to be a response to, you know, here's a way to stop green from ramping out of control. Like I think that is a severe error, to be honest, because green is really good at getting those lands back very easily. So if you attempt to wipe all the lands away, green is going to be able to catch back up more easily than you getting rid of all the lands. I will say I'm having less fun than I was before.
Yeah, I also, I don't know. I'm not I love making people miserable in Magic, but for me, in Commander in specific, I tend to shy away from it. I feel like, I don't know, Commander is different for me for some reason, where I feel like the main priority is making sure everyone has a good time, and I feel like even if you got one or two people or a person in your play group that like is miserable because you do it, it's probably better to just like not do it. Obviously, if your entire play group is down with it and that's just the style you play, then you know, you do you, like play whatever you want to. But I think like if you're making anyone at your table have, you know, a horrible time, then it's probably better to avoid it.
Well, like the lens that I view Commander through is always a lens, like my entire family plays Magic. My brothers, my stepdad, my mom, we all play, and it is awesome. If I bring an Armageddon to that table, I'm not getting invited to Thanksgiving. Like, that's how I feel about like anytime that something comes up like, oh, is this I mean, and the land destruction and stacks cards show up on EDHREC Salt score page very, very high for a valid reason. But like, I'm not going to bring something that is going to like make my mom disown me. You know, like that's not something I want to do. Yeah.
I think Tomer is closest to rebuilding.
Am I?
Actually, strangely enough, he has the most lands in his deck, and he has the Explorer Scope.
Interesting.
And he actually could have like a swords or something like that.
I am definitely not casting a spell for the rest of this game.
You guys are all free to concede at any moment.
It's more that I do have Swords Clashers in my deck, and I could also
I'm pretty confident I got this.
But it's the Mother of Runes that will make it difficult. Like it's an extra step.
Well, I mean, Karlov is growing, so this should be fast.
I find it okay as a finisher. Like I feel like if you use it as a way to close out games, that's totally fine. I know, but if people don't like it, then I wouldn't run it. That's how I always perceive it. But I generally find for stuff that people don't like in general, like if a general population of Commander players sat around the table and they determined a salt score, like EDHREC has it, I feel like there's a common thing of just like people want the ability to cast the spells in their deck, and they don't like it when people prevent them from casting the spells in their deck. So anything that like messes with their mana, messes with the cards that they have in their hand, stuff like that, stuff that prevents them to actually cast a spell, people are a lot less happy about. Where, you know, like if you can cast a spell, it does its thing, and then you remove it afterwards, people are like, well, at least I got to see the thing enter the battlefield and jump through a hoop, you know?
So here's the line. So I don't know. I'm actually pretty mixed. Like I always talk about Armageddon, but I rarely ever play it. like I only played it like a handful of times.
I'm glad I caught you on the rare opportunity then.
But this was like a perfect deck because it's a low curve Lurrus deck because I can recurve my land fetching artifacts. But anyway, what I was gonna say was like if I comboed off, like I made infinite goblins, you all would be dead as well and not playing your cards.
Yes.
Armageddon is slightly slower, because here it takes me a couple combat steps to kill you. But if you
I'm not sure
cast
that's a
it
point
when
in its
you're ahead,
favor, bro.
I'm just saying, if you cast it when you're ahead, it's the same as a combo finish, right?
I think, well,
if you cast it when you're behind, then you're just dragging the game on forever and, not doing anything.
I think another consideration is when it happens. Like, I think that's if you're Armageddoning on like, turn 15 when the game's ready to end, like, then it's probably the same. But just going like 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop Armageddon, like, if someone comboed on turn 4, I would probably also be like, yeah, that wasn't an especially, fun game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the things that we treasure so much about Commander is the ability to express ourselves through the deck that we've played, and to, we want all of our decks to do the thing. And one of the things that I think folks can get a little worried about when it comes to a combo finish or something like that is that it feels like, oh, that came out of nowhere and it's disconnected from decks doing the thing. And it seems to have invalidated the gameplay that occurred up to that point. We're like, oh, and then out of nowhere, the game is over. And I get how that sometimes feels like a feel bad situation. But like at the same time, there are plenty of commanders that like if you're playing a zombie, for example, how else are you going to win with that commander except through the use of infinite combo? Like, I don't have any salty feelings about infinite combo, because like there are commanders that rely upon it to actually win the game. As soon as you pick up like a Melik deck, for example, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I'm not exactly going to be overwhelming stampeding or anything.
Yeah, and it's also kind of like a sweet merciful release. Like if a zombie deck does not have a combo finisher, then you're just watching a person draw a card, or draw like 10 cards every single turn for multiple turns, and just kind of like play solitaire, and you're just waiting, and you're just like hoping for it to end. So like I'm all on board for infinite finishers, and I feel like in a multiplayer game like Commander, where everybody like aggro is so the chances of aggro actually closing the game, which is like straightforward combat damage by building a board, is like so stacked against you. Everybody's at 40 life total, and there's 3 opponents that you have to kill, and each one has answers in their hands. It's just so difficult to get that done. And more likely, you're just going to kill one person, and that person has to wait until, everybody else, loses the game eventually. So I actually prefer...
Yeah, the Commander Sphere podcast has a really great episode on this. It's explicit, but it's absolutely hilarious. They go over stacks and that kind of thing, and how the enjoyment that people derive from that kind of thing. It's a very funny bit. They do a great job, Dan and Rachel over there.
Is the ultimate strategy then just green ramp? Because that seems to be the thing that people can't punish as easily.
Well, again, I don't think that land destruction does punish green very well. Like, green is the color of Splendid Wreck, World Shaper, and Ramanop. Like, green is fine if you destroy its lands. I've got a Titania deck that would love it if you would cast that Armageddon.
Well, what I mean is, let's say I built out like a super wide board or a big board. Everyone sees that and they're like, oh my god, kill him. Someone draws like 1 million cards. They're like, okay, kill him. Someone ramps. I guess if you play like a Zendikar Resurgent, you're like, okay, kill him. But usually if you just like Explosive Vegetation, Farseek, like people kind of just leave you alone in general. Like it doesn't look as scary as some of the other things going on.
I don't know. Like I am happy to see that Commander in general does seem to be speeding up a little bit, and that does punish the early advantage that people can get. Like Greven was coming out really, really strong here, and yeah, I'm not bothered, but like is green too? Like, yeah, green's been crazy powerful ever since back in New Phyrexia when they decided that Beast Within wasn't allowed, was going to happen. Like 2019 did not introduce us to green being ridiculously strong. It was very, very precedented. But like, I don't know. I'm not bothered by that necessarily. I think that there are plenty of decks like if you're playing against Krenko or Perforos, sorry, then, ramp is gonna cost you.
Yeah, slow plays. Some aggro decks can actually successfully punish, like, slow ramp decks. Most don't so much. But do we have time for game 2, by the way?
I would love to play a game.
I can take out my land destruction. I've prepared for this outcome.
Well, what do you guys think about Perforos and Bearer of the Heavens? New Perforos can just cheat out Bearer of the Heavens and wipe the board with Perforos still on the battlefield. Would you consider that bad form?
I think I'm just going to concede if we're going to do another game. Like, I don't know if there's any reason to make you kill me over the course of a few more turns. Yeah. Or another turn or two. So I'm just gonna scoop.
I'm pretty
All
sure
right.
Richard got this.
How do I do the same?
Right click and
right
then
click,
concede.
game.
Concede
I
game.
think it is interesting that if you look at this.
Wait, I have a different way to do this. I will hex parasite.
You going out on your own terms.
Oh no, Mother Roots doesn't even work. I'm like, oh, there's a black mana symbol. Like, no, it's colorless.
I will hex parasite myself to death.
I do think it's
Go out on your own
interesting
terms.
that if you look at
You chose 0.
if you look at the
Boom.
saltiest cards on EDHREC, it is basically all stuff that messes with lands. Like if you look at the top 15, there's extra turn spells and then ban cards, but it's like Stasis, Armageddon, Winter Orb, Foreign Clax, Jockalhop, Static Orb, Devastation, Degree of Annihilation, Obliteration, so it seems like in general, the Commander community does not like those cards.
Yeah, I mean, because we just want to sit down and have a fun time, play an hour-long game. There's a lot of games that we could play, and we want the ones that we choose to play to be really enjoyable. And if, your fun should never come at the expense of someone else's fun. I've played so many games with my family that, I brought a Yidra Storm deck to the table one time, and that's not a thing that you can do to your mom, who will then commander damage you with her Ojutai deck because she's not having it. But I don't want to do that kind of thing. And that's been really helpful for me to realize how important it is to consider other people's fun before my own. That's the most important thing when you're a game designer. And that's really important in this format too.
Well, that's fair.
Oh, completely agreed. Yeah. Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. We played with Corbin Hostler on our stream last night, and he busted out, he ill-harged out a Gisela or something like that, and then my co-host Dana had a tainted strike on that Gisela to take out the guy that that Corbin was attacking, to take out Matt, and that was hilarious. That was awesome, and Matt actually had a force of will to stop it, but that kind of thing I think is hysterical. And there are plenty of ways that could, you could have given a double strike or, used a hatred on it or something like that. I'm not bugged by Infect whatsoever. Land Destruction made me a little sad though. But
I think what it comes down to is just figuring out what the play group isn't good with, because like I said, it's most of my play groups have never had an issue with land destruction, but that's because everybody has agreed that is, acceptable for them.
So you're telling me is I need to jockle hop from into this.
Well, I mean, also,
and it's also you need to wipe the creatures.
Our play group in Commander Clash, we've just seen so much mass land destruction as a general rule of thumb that it's not like a thing.
Wait, what do you mean we've seen so much? We rarely ever see it.
Has made many appearances. Bear of the Heavens, Krim.
First of all, blame our editor.
And we had Vince on an entire season.
Yeah, we had Vince for an entire season.
That's right.
He does enjoy it.
We had a lot of stacks.
But that's the thing is I think the more times you're just kind of exposed to it, it becomes less of a thingy. I think the first time I got infected out, I was kind of bitter about it. Because it's I have 40 starting life total. This seems like cheating. But then it just happened more and often. And I was like, all right, that's fine.
Do you guys think Infect should be increased to 20 for Commander?
I think
if
they ever bring back Infect, and Infect, a lot of good Infect cards are printed, which I really doubt they will, then we might reach a point where I think they might have to increase the number of Infect, point characters to 20.
So is the theme of this episode actually not companions, but controversial stuff? Is that what we're really on to talk about?
We just somehow went down the road.
This is where we're at now.
We've cast one companion the entire match.
I would have cast
maybe possibly because of Armageddon.
I would have cast Keruga my next turn if I still had lands, just for the record.
I am very excited for this game though, because I have 3 lands and none of them are artifacts, thankfully.
What about since we're talking miserable stuff, what do you think about expropriate, time stretch, those type of cards?
I mean, they're on the salt score for a reason. I play expropriate in my Yannette deck because it's really fun to do that, but I also understand why people like. My problem with Expropriate isn't people playing it in Commander. My problem with Expropriate is that I'm like, what design is this? Like you will always vote for one thing. You'll never gain control of a permanent that you own. Like that just strikes me as being like awkward card design more than it is like the worst card. But I've also seen people like, if you invest all your mana into one big 10 mana spell and someone redirects it to like, actually, I take the 2 extra turns now, or a Fury Storm, and it's just like, hey, I'm going to get multiple copies of your spell. Like, that's also hilarious. Like, if there are problematic cards, I think there are a lot of really clever ways to be able to get around them too. And it's fun to find those things, even if the cards themselves can be kind of miserable. But
I think that's especially, that's especially true if you're playing with like a set play group and you know, like, oh, this person always plays this, then you can kind of like tech against it. When if you just sit down at like a random table to Magic Fest or something, maybe it's a little bit less fun that way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's, oh man, I miss Magic Fests. But it's been really lovely to like see that people have that conversation about the expectations of the game. And Dana and Matt and I talk about this a lot, about like, you know, what to do, how to have that conversation. Because a numerical scale is a good start, I think, but it doesn't get the entire picture. Especially because I've met very few people who are willing to say, yeah, my deck is a 2. Like, I don't think that happens very often, so it kind of automatically biases upward. But like it's nice to sort of reveal like here's sort of, you know, with the God Hand my deck can do this, and I think a lot of people are afraid, validly, that if they describe too much about what their deck does, that it'll give away an edge that they could have in the game by surprising their opponents. But I'd so much rather have the 1-minute conversation than have an hour-long game that ends up being bad or ending in a way that everyone doesn't really resonate with. So I'm happy to give up information if it means that everyone's going to have a good time.
Yeah, usually when I sit down with a new player group, like I have a bunch of decks and they're all at varying power levels. One of the first things I say is like, this deck has infinite combos. Is that okay? And then if people say yes, then I play it. If people say like no, which actually has never actually happened, but if someone did say no, we don't like infinite combos at our table, then I just bring out a different deck that doesn't have infinite combos, and I feel it's a little bit weaker, you know, like, or like lower power rather. And I think that's like the best way to handle power levels and stuff. Be like a little descriptor of what the deck is trying to do and how it does it, and then people can judge from there, you know, what they would want to play against.
I feel it all hinges on being like super into Magic. Like you need to understand like the entire metagame and power level to accurately describe your deck. Whereas if you just like threw some cards together and like you just play Commander like 4 times a year, like how are you ever going to rate your deck accurately? It's like pretty tough.
Yeah.
It's also like what commanders you pick. Like, I don't know. There's some it's like, if you bust out Urza, I don't even care like what your description of your deck is. It's like, I see Urza, I know what Urza plays like. And even like the jankier versions are just going to be much higher power level than, you know, say a Precon, right? Like some of the
I've got a Virtus and Gorm deck, which is hilarious because it cuts people's life in half, and that looks strong initially, but then, you know, I do it again and like, oh, this actually is very slow at killing me, isn't it? And I'm like, you're darn right, this is the Xeno's paradox of decks, but like, I can tune that up all I want, but it's never going to approach the power level of my Mimeoplasm deck, which I've had forever and which I love, but like, that thing is Jin-Gitaxias on turn 2, kind of. It has that potential. It doesn't happen consistently. I guess I should clarify. But like, you know, people don't like seeing Foreign Collects and Jin-Gitaxias, and Mimeoplasm loves reviving them. And Virtus and Gorm is just like, hi. It's like, it's not going to do anything like that.
Oh my God, it's an Uro.
Yeah.
I feel I'm very tilted when I see like super strong destructed cards in Commander. Even though like this literally does nothing, it is like actually pretty not powerful. I'm just like so tilted already.
I think that's why like
you're playing Lurrus.
I know, right?
The literal best constructed card since Black Lotus or something.
but I can't see it. It's collapsed by companions.
It is kind of interesting that like I feel like Seth didn't really accomplish too much that game, but he would have had basically if he was allowed to go off with EDHREC and Keruga and everything. Everybody's having like flashbacks to like Standard of the past year, and it's just like so much blinking value. Can't do it. Can't stand it. Yeah. Just kill.
Yeah. Just imagine if I do my Agent of Treachery.
Yeah, I feel like the reaction would be a lot less openly hostile. to what Seth is playing right now, had we not just survived or went through an entire year of like Simic value in Standard. And that's sitting in everybody's back of their mind. Ooh,
that's a combat celebrant.
What?
Combat? Combat celebrant. I just noticed there's a combat celebrant.
Yeah.
That seems good with Greven and also Obosh. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite cards in the deck. One of the things I'm happy got to stay from the original build.
Okay.
Tomer deserves it.
I forgot Earl gained him 3 life.
Excellent.
So far, Tomer's deck seems to be casting artifacts with no creatures.
Are you trying to assemble Cauldre again, Tomer?
I won't confirm nor deny. Look, am I that much of an old hat, Seth? Do you think I really come up with nothing else that's interesting or new, Seth? Is that what you're accusing me of, Seth? Because I am.
I didn't mean it in that way.
I am insulted and appalled.
I just know you really, really like trying to assemble Cauldre and get that 4/4 or whatever it is.
Or whatever it is, Seth? All right.
I don't know if I've ever. I don't know. Has it ever actually been assembled? Okay. I honestly.
I remember the first time he assembled them. Like, that's all it does. We spent this long trying to assemble Cauldre.
So
I wish we had those stats. Like, of all Magic players in the world, like, who has used like Cauldre pieces in like the most hours of gameplay? Is it Tomer, or is there some masochist out there?
What do you mean masochist about bad cards? How dare
Every week goes to his play group, tries to assemble Cauldre.
I actually had a beautiful win with Cauldre and World Slayer, and then it all got messed up because I was getting in the World Slayer with Sigarda's Aid, and the creature had protection from white, and it was all ruined. And oh man, I'm never gonna just let that go.
I don't know about Cauldre, but I bet Tomer has played more Moonfolk than anyone else in the history of Commander.
Joey, do you have any stats on Cauldre? I know I'm throwing you out on the spot here, but surely other people understand that Cauldre's actually good, really.
Sorry, I'm trying to cast a spell, but I think I'm doing it poorly.
Yeah,
apologies.
the filter lands can be a little tricky.
Yeah, that's what tripped me up. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that like they don't all match up. Like, people who play the shield don't necessarily always play the sword, and so on.
Why would you only play one?
So I think that the numbers will only break your heart.
No. I also like that we're talking a little bit ahead of time with the recording and everything, and Joey asked me straight up, like, are we going to ask him like a lot of questions about EDHREC stats that you should have prepared? And we're like, no. We usually don't do that to our guests. Like, we usually just focus on the Magic play first, and maybe lob a few questions throughout. And then here we are, we're just like making him bust out stats for basically every card that we're talking about. Like, what are the stats about the companions here? What are the stats about Armageddon? What's the salt score on Cauldre?
So Tomer, I actually looked up Helm of Cauldre, which is the one you need to actually make Cauldre.
Yeah.
What percentage of decks, according to EDHREC, do you think Helm of Cauldre?
A little bit less than Swiftfoot Boots.
It is. I'm pretty sure less. I haven't checked Swiftfoot Boots, but I think that is probably a technically correct statement. It is 0%.
What?
1,200 out of 348,000.
Well, that's 1,200 enlightened people.
But probably like 300 of those are you, so it's actually under 1,000.
It is
All
true.
right.
EDHREC does get like MTGGoldfish deck stats, right? So I probably have made like 60 different Cauldre variants in my time.
Yeah, all those lists are yours.
Oh wow, Hardcasting Wall Drifter. That is, you don't see that every day.
It's a block.
It is a block and a blink target. Are you setting up some shenanigans?
I'm actually not really a blink style deck, honestly. I might have a slight bit of blinking, but that's not really the main theme. I play probably more Panharmonicons than anyone, and I really hate Deadeye Navigator. That's a card that, to me, I know it's like probably the best card I could play in a Panharmonicon deck, or the style that I build, but that's one of those cards that for me, it isn't fun. Like, it's good, but it's not fun, so I just, like, never play it. I feel like it's too good. I feel like it's too easy to just, like, oh, I win the game.
I appreciate your restraint. I wonder if other people at this play table have the same level of restraint with other things, say,
like,
like
Armageddons and so forth.
Hey, Land Destruction is really good.
Armageddon's so good.
Oh, I see. Richard's trying to set up the land tax Armageddon plan.
Oh yeah, but I already took out my land destruction, so this is just value. This is my white card draw. Impressed.
I'm so excited. I actually hit land drops and I have another one to play next turn.
So, does your Zirda deck like combo off Tomer, or like what do you actually?
I took
do
out
with
all combos.
Zirda?
I took out all combos. I actually went over beforehand. I was like, "Hey," I asked the Goldfish crew, "Hey, like, should I be running the monolith combos?" And we concluded probably not. So none of those are you're gonna have to worry about.
So apart from equipping on the cheap, like, what is there to do in your deck? Like, are there cool shenanigans that are not infinite combos, or is it just like a bad pure steel paladin?
It's Cauldre. You can pay less to equip the stuff.
Nope.
I mean, Sunforger is legit. Like that's a great deal for Zirda, for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Play that Cauldre piece, Tomer. Play the first one. Come on. I know you want. I know it's in your hand, and I know you're thinking, wait, we just had this big conversation. Do I actually want to reveal that I am playing Cauldre? You gotta do it. You gotta.
I don't know what you're talking about. I play Tajik, and I'm an aggro deck, and we're just playing some nice magic, and I'm gonna ramp a little bit, and it'll be great. Look at these interactions. See, sort of the animus. It equips 2. Now it's equipped 1.
It's gonna mentor,
and I get mentor. Look at all this. And you were saying, what does Zirda do? And then boom, here you go.
That's pretty busted.
Because you keep talking smack about my deck, Seth. Guess who's getting attacked? And also, you don't have any good blockers. All right, cool.
I have a Mole Drifter. All right.
You can chump block with your Mole Drifter. I still get the land.
I don't have any black mana. That's awkward.
Me and Joey did nothing wrong to me, so I'm not attacking him.
Hey, I appreciate
Please
that.
don't steal my Zirda. Please don't nom it.
Nom nom?
Ooh, and use its ability, I will. Alright, that was an excellent, very fair magic turn.
We will not block.
Good.
So, what do you think? What do you all think about the Command Fest Online? Do you think that'll be a pretty well attended thing?
I don't know as much about it as I should, to be perfectly honest. It's something I need to figure out.
Well, it was just
I am very
it was
intrigued.
just announced, I think, like on the Wizard stream, like yesterday when we were recording this. So it's pretty new. So don't feel bad, but it sounds like it's got a lot of big name commander people in it, and you play over webcams. It seems like I'm glad that with all the stuff that's going on in quarantines and whatnot, that Wizards and the community have like found ways to stay connected and keep playing paper Magic, which I mean, that part of it's definitely super sweet.
Yeah, I hope it does well, and I'm interested in maybe playing in it. I haven't touched my paper decks in so long that I don't even remember what I have, but if setting up a webcam and getting involved is super easy, then I'm really excited for it.
I could attack. There's someone open, but he was nice and didn't attack me, so I'm gonna be nice and not attack him.
Joey and I, we have an alliance, okay? All right. We don't blow up anybody's lands. Everybody's happy here,
He can help you by giving your creature shadow.
Yeah.
I could give other people's creature shadow. It's
very group huggy, this Dothy and Bryce.
It's hilarious. I mean, we had mentioned like the Tainted Strike thing that you could do as an instant on someone else's creature, but like I will sometimes just shadow someone's creature when they didn't even realize that I was going to, and like that can totally screw someone over. Or I think Kessig Wolfrun can also target a creature that isn't yours, and like that's sometimes hilarious. Yeah, there's just, I don't know, messing with combat during other people's turns is really, really hilarious to me.
Well, I have to attack someone. I guess it
Do
probably
you
should
have to attack someone, Seth?
Oh, you will see. It should probably be Richard, I guess.
Oh,
with
you're
Armageddon.
Just gonna blink it?
No, not quite.
He's playing Pernicious
Is it a
Deed
raid
again.
card? Are you raiding after this, Seth?
It's like Eureka.
Is it Ninja of the Deep Out or something?
It's
the blue one?
It's even more like that, but no, not exactly.
Oh, is it the good
Scroll?
ninjas?
What do you mean
The
good
big
one?
ones?
I love the blue one.
It's
Ingenious Infiltrator. Oh, yeah, that's sweet.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and then I get my Muldrifter back, so I get to draw even more cards.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, but your mana
Spicy.
base is preventing you from mull drifting again.
next turn. Next turn.
Sweet.
This turn we'll play a blocker, so we don't get. Well, I guess we still get Greven, but we'll play a blocker anyway, just in case it's relevant. We should probably kill Richard, though. He did Armageddon us. If you're thinking about who to Graven to death, my
Yeah.
vote is the Armageddon.
I don't
I
even
vote
have
Richard
Armageddon
too.
anymore. I'm just like bad white weenie now.
I would vote for the Armageddon player personally.
I would go to
Fair
the
enough.
people
See, this
with 6 CMC cards in their deck instead of 2
This is
CMC
hilarious.
cards.
All I had to do was bring Graven to the table, and everyone else was already voting on how
Who
I
will
should
die
kill
next,
other
yeah.
people. I'm like, oh,
Who
okay.
gets voted off the island? I vote Seth.
Wait, do I need
I
to
vote
target someone?
Richard, because he blew up the island last time.
I mean, wait, I only destroyed 2 of your lands, Tomer. Seth killed 1. We're like pretty close, right?
Look at me, though. I'm just like, I'm going off. I have a Sword of the Anime. I have
I don't know what this grudge is
5
about.
lands. It's going to be 6. Maybe if I hit a top deck a land, that would be really cool.
So what else?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What else from Ikoria do you think will be sweet in Commander? We've kind of talked about companions. We've talked about some of the mythics, like the mutate cards. Are there anything outside of those groups that you're just like really enjoying or hyped? I guess the set is like just coming out, but hyped to be able to play in Commander?
I mean, like the data that we're seeing already, the ultimatums and the triomes are totally sweeping the popularity. The C20 decks are more popular than the commanders from the set, but that's to be expected. Like I think I hinted at earlier, I'm not super high on the set. It really didn't resonate with me. I think it crosses the line between black and silver border too strongly for my taste.
Well, you never elaborate. Is it because of like mutate? Is it because of Godzilla? Is it because of companions?
There's a lot of
What
reasons
part-
to.
Was it specifically?
Well, like a card like Shark Typhoon, I'm just like, that's not a recreation.
I see.
of
So
the
the
thing, that is
flavor
just
of the set,
a
then.
replication of the thing.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, like, I don't know. On the one hand, you've got Wizard saying like, oh, making tribal into a super type instead of a card type is the most complicated thing, and it would break the game in half. And then on the other hand, they're like, hold my mutate, and so you're just kind of like, But yeah, or like the Godzilla frames, I think they're great in theory, but then if I say I'm playing a Godzilla deck, do you know which one I'm talking about? Because there's 5. There are plenty of non-legendary creatures with the Godzilla frames that have legendary looking frames and legendary looking names. Like we get Questing Beast, which is legendary, but it doesn't get to be the Questing Beast. And then you've got like a Scrib Sprite that's actually like a Doomsayer. And I'm like, okay, this is just confusing. And I've seen a lot of folks online be confused about why we get emails saying, hey, why isn't this Mothra? Why isn't that showing up in the mono white commanders? Well, because it's not actually a legend, but the Mothra frame looks like one. So there's that aesthetic, which any one of these details, I think I could totally get over. But like the complicatedness of mutate, the timestamps on keyword counters, there's just a lot of, and also companions doing the thing they're doing. There's a lot of paper cuts that I've had that have just left me, unfortunately, more frustrated than excited.
Sorry, I
and
just
that
saw what
makes me
Tomer tried.
very sad.
No, just ignore it. Just keep going, Joey. Nothing happens.
But I mean, like,
Sorry,
any
don't
of my-
interrupt.
any gripes that I have, like people are like this set is selling gangbusters, and we've got tons of data before the even paper cards before they even came out. Like it's a 3-color set. Those do wonderful because there are so many folks who are so excited to put ultimatums into their deck, and the ultimatums are sweet. Like Eerie Ultimatum. Oh my
yeah, that card.
goodness. The Ozolith. Oh my goodness, the Ozolith. Like that is one that really genuinely gets me excited because it looks like a fusion between all of the most important objects from Chrono Cross, like the Frozen Flame and the Dragon Steer and stuff. Like, I'm just like, give me this thing in my Rayhan and Ishai deck immediately. So we are seeing tons of data acquisition for it. People are definitely hype on it. The legends from the main set aren't nearly as popular as the ones, I think Xyrus and Calamax and Zexara are the most popular from the sets, the precon sets themselves. So I can be grumpy all that I want to be, but like people are excited for the set, and it's totally going to make a splash. It can't make this big a splash, this big of a splash in every other format, and not also make a big splash in Commander. Like there's no way.
Why me, Tomer?
Like you could have blocked the Solemn Simulacrum, and you could have drawn a card. I was helping you out, but apparently you did not take my gift. I was helping you, Seth, and yeah, I definitely did not punt on my turn. Everybody didn't see anything, and it was great.
Why is this card even in your deck? You just to get the land out of it? Like, was this
mistakes are made, all right? So the idea behind Golden Guardian in my deck is I'm an equipment deck, surprise, surprise, and I'll make my creatures bigger, and then I can fight the Golden Guardian because it's only a 4/4, and then it's Ramp and Boros, and yay. But it's kind of a non-bow with Tajik Legion's Edge on the battlefield, which did not think that one through too well. I was like, yes, so Zirda's not going to die, so I can fight Zirda against the Golden Guardian. It's going to be amazing. And I'm so smart. I'm such a smarty pants.
No. Oh no!
And then
that's a ghost form.
Good times.
Someone's going to get smashed for a bit of damage.
The big old damage.
I have that card in my deck too. Works great with Lurrus.
Oh yeah. Protects Lurrus for days.
I'll bet.
Okay, next rant that we have queued up. Joey, what do you think about the new cycle of free spells from C20?
I'm a little disappointed that so the design on them I actually do think is very clever. I think that the costs on them are a little strange. I would have liked to see more of a Pact of Negation or Force of Will kind of mana cost thing going on for the blue one, 5 mana instead of 3, because there really is no reason not to run it. They are the only cards in the 999 that impressed me from the precons, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't think I like the black one or the green one very much, but the ones that protect your board, because that's what you want to do when your commander's in play anyway, Deflecting Swat and Fierce Guardianship and Flawless Maneuver. Like those strike me as very, very strong. And I like the idea behind the design. I don't think that they're like I can see myself if I was working at Wizards, like I think that that's the kind of thing that I would be I'd want to experiment with that. That seems like a fun place to go. That's an interesting thing to do. But the blue one in particular does strike me as like the Teferi's protection of the set. And I'm a little sad that in every one of the precons, we seem to be getting a Dockside Extortionist or a Teferi's protection or something that blows the rest of the cards out of the water. I'm not sure if that's even necessarily avoidable, but it does make me kind of like, oh man, like I do wish that we had more of the, like I think it was Commander 2015 where you had a lot of cards that were much more generally useful to a lot of different areas, that didn't like one card didn't overshadow everything else. But I don't hate the designs. I just do think that the mana costs on them kind of made me raise my eyebrows.
So you mean like without having the commander on battlefield, you would want those spells to cost a bit more, or that if they are on the battlefield, maybe they're a little bit cheaper to cast?
I'm being inactive. I'm sorry. How do I rar to make you do a thing?
Oh, that's an ouch.
Yeah, who's taking the ouch?
It's gonna be a pain.
I don't know. Who's taking the ouch? Oh, nope. Cancel this one. I wanted that one on you.
Wait, how much damage? 20?
Could be a lot because it's also extra combat step.
So you could attack and exert and hit for 10. Oh,
put a -1/-1 counter on a target creature.
Someone's dead, right?
That's not lethal, is it?
Isn't it?
Well, no.
7, and then.
How much life has he lost this turn?
None.
Not a lot.
I feel like
not
one.
a lot at all. Who gets a -1 counter? Who gets a -1 counter?
Doesn't kill anything.
Who doesn't want to be attacked? How about
me.
that?
Also me.
Well, like there's one person with mana up, and I'm looking at that board like, what's going on over there?
That's true. And that's the person with the bounty hunter that can blow up your stuff, sort of.
I mean, there is a Kaya's Ghost form.
That's true.
Yeah, let's put one on the bounty hunter just because I feel salty about what happened last game.
And the bounty hunter did work last game.
Yeah.
Wait, I never
That's how you
noticed
play
this.
good magic,
What
right?
is this? Is the bounty hunter the girl or the? No, it has to be the girl or like the orc thing behind.
Is it? I'm trying to choose something, but I don't think I'm doing it well. Which is, I apologize.
I find the bounty agent artwork is a little bit weird because so the abilities is the bounty agent has to sacrifice itself to destroy the target, but this depicts a person who has like the bounty captive. So
She's
like almost like an exile effect, like a fiend hunter effect. I would imagine would be like more appropriate for that artwork. Or maybe like this is right before the bounty like breaks free and she has to like they both kill each other. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Doesn't have that sacrifice vibe in the artwork, you know?
Yeah, I never actually really looked at the artwork before right now. But
sometimes,
you're right.
You know, I get nitpicky sometimes. This one I would put for like a fiend hunter.
Oh goodness, I'm sorry that took so long to resolve. I'm just clicking through all of these.
Yeah. Takes some getting used to for sure. Moto is weird like that.
I guess I'm not really attacking for lethal, so
it's a lot, but not
That's
lethal.
a lot. I mean, well, it depends if you exert.
It's a lot, but not
right?
lethal. No, because I draw cards equal to the power, but lose life equal to the toughness, so it's not lethal. I just want to know if Mr. The Only Fish is planning on doing any removal.
Oh wait, is it not? If you sacrifice Combat Celebrant, is it not lethal?
It would be, yes. I think
it would be because it'd be 11 and then you get 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could actually kill anyone, I think.
Well, I think it would only be 16 damage.
Oh, maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Well, my math right?
Greven attacks now, but you also tap the Sulphur Springs, so is that going to... Oh, wait, no.
I had already done that one. It should already be marking. I'm just trying to... I'm just weighing whether or not I think he's got removal, and I think he does. So,
ouchies.
Tomer does not have removal.
You don't know that. Could have...
Maybe he has a new C20 card.
One card I end up putting a lot in my red decks is a free spell. It's destroy target artifact at instant speed. It's like if you control a mountain and your opponent controls something. I'm totally forgot the name of it. But what is it? Seth, you know it, right? It's old. It's from like Tempest. No, not Tempest. Wrath? No. What's the one with the axe?
Oh my I misplayed again. Dang it.
What happened?
I thought that I had attacked with the Combat Celebrant to exert it, but I just ended up sacrificing it. I'm so bad at Moto!
Did I just have like a life flash before my eyes moment? Where was I about to die? Pretty sure that would have killed me.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, I don't know how to feel about this.
Dang. I do not know my way around this program. My apologies, everyone. I know if I was watching this, I'd be upset at myself.
Was the plan to kill me though? Because I could just concede at that point because I had no response.
If you concede in response to someone attacking you for lifelink damage, you're a monster. That's worse than land destruction.
If you were going to kill me this turn and you didn't kill me because of a misclick, then I would still count that as a...
No, I was just going to get an extra combat. It was just going to be an extra combat, and I think, because
I don't concede in response to death. It was just more like, if you planned on killing me, and I had no way to stop you from killing me, then after the combat, I would have been like, all right, well, you would have killed me had it not been a Moto bug. If that makes sense.
No, I just didn't click like I thought I had for Combat Celebrant. So it goes.
We're gonna get in with our creatures. Maybe
That's who?
It's probably got to be Joey because he can't block, and I want to draw cards.
Hey, I didn't attack you.
I don't, especially when I hurt you. I just want to draw cards. It's not. It's only a couple. Actually, 4. But that's not much. You're a 46.
Double strike.
No worries. My deck isn't built to kill people. It's just built to draw cards. Why they kill me?
Is it Keruga time?
Maybe. I probably should cast my companion before this.
I actually have 8 cards. You just end up discarding.
Oh, I'm gonna have way more than 8 in a minute.
Oh boy! You don't have a reliquary tower. You might as well.
I could find one.
Just not draw cards.
But I have more ninjas.
Let's see.
More ninjas?
Uh-huh. Eureka.
Yeah.
Now I get a whole bunch of triggers. I get to draw a ton of cards.
Wow.
And maybe I hit 2 like 15 drops and you guys die.
That's painful. Revealing.
Number 1, ooh, Soul of the Harvest. Not bad.
Yeah, that's painful.
Number 2,
okay.
Casualties of 4. That's not
Wow.
bad.
Dang.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
That Armageddon looking pretty sweet now, huh? Wait, how many lands? Oh, you can only destroy 1 land with casualties? Wait, what's worse, Armageddon or Agent of Treachery?
Agent of Treachery only takes 1 thing.
That's until you blink it.
I still...
That's until you blink it. I don't know, I've seen a lot of
until you play
standard.
standard with
It doesn't
Yorion
usually
going
take
on.
only 1 thing.
I need to not die. How do we know? Okay, so I think we have to do this.
Draw more cards.
Throw cards at it. Wait,
So-
what is
Where are you
this?
going
For the
up?
shadow?
So
Wait, the ghost form?
so
The
Joey,
ghost form.
I
Ah.
could blow up your Newthie Embrace over there.
You could.
If you feel like attacking other people though for the next turn or 2, then I don't mind leaving it on the table if you want to try to kill them. But if Greven's coming at me, I probably got to do that, or else I think I probably will die.
I would love to keep my stuff.
Okay.
I won't attack you. I didn't
That's-
attack you
that's
last
true.
turn. See, I thought we were everything's copacetic. I thought we were on a wavelength. You don't need to threaten
I
me.
don't know if I agree with this,
getcha.
Plus,
Tomer. The one with the most cards and mana in the game, combining with the one with the most dominating board position.
Plus,
What can we
I mean,
do?
if I had a choice, I'd rather blow up one of Tomer's things anyway.
Wow! Alright.
Golden
Okay. I
Guardian.
see the line has been drawn in the sand.
The Golden Guardian's so bad, I don't even think I want to kill it.
Wow! It's only bad because Tajik's on the board, okay? I did not...
It's powering up Inventor's Fair. He's gonna then go fetch Cauldre.
I think we'll just do that for now.
You're jealous of the fact
Are we
that I
really
actually
killing
get
the
raindrops.
Sword of the Animus?
There's not
Couldn't hit the cartouche.
there's not really any better
Anything?
targets. And then we'll Fairhaven Elf, so we have another blocker. I don't know if I've ever played. I played a lot of Panharmonicon, but I don't think I've ever done ninjas in Panharmonicon together. And I don't have a Panharmonicon on the battlefield, but it seems like it's kind of synergistic, being able to like pick up your Muldrifters and Solemns and then recast them to double the triggers. So I like the idea of it.
Yeah, it works well.
Yeah, no, when you see like 2 halves of a deck shoved together, you're like, did these really work? But like, there's totally ways that you can cross that. Like, it always feels like there's not enough room in the deck to really do the thing that you want. But there are totally ways to.
Richard,
make it
I
work.
do have 1 enchantment removal. I can remove 1 thing. In my hand. And I say this only because Joey hit me before, and I thought we were close.
I can stop hitting
Oh,
you.
boy. But eventually you will hit me.
I'll stop hitting you.
Once he's at 50 life.
Someone's gonna die soon.
Yeah.
That Eureka
Rico
can,
is
can
killing
pour
me.
on some damage.
I don't
Apparently,
even know what's going to kill me faster at this point. I haven't even showed you my secret tech yet.
just cast your Cauldre piece before
We
you
know
die,
it's Cauldre.
Tomer.
I don't know what you mean.
Unfortunately, I think I'm running out of ways to hit people with Eureka, so the ninja fun might be coming to an end.
Blind obedience.
That's annoying.
That scuppers my
Yeah,
haste.
we're gonna make sure we don't just die out of nowhere.
Are we extorting?
We are.
Oh boy.
Tomer's dying in every possible way. Oh, and it grows Karlov too?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, so I told you my whole family plays. Karlov is my stepdad's deck. And it's mean. It's wonderful. It's great though because he's on a life gain deck. My mom plays Dragonlord Ojutai as a Voltron.
Ooh.
And it's hilarious because like commander damage is the only solution to his hundreds and hundreds of life. And it's just amazing to see. And they don't even necessarily just play against us kids. Like they also like will play each other to see like who does the laundry and stuff like that. It is the most adorable thing.
Oh, that's
Okay.
super cool. So did you like grow up playing Magic with your family, or did they start playing? Did you all start playing like later?
we all started playing at the same time. A friend of a friend sort of introduced us to the game, and we each took a color. I've got multiple brothers. One of them doesn't really keep up with the game, but like each one of us, like I got stuck with red. My mom had taken blue. My stepdad took black, and then two of my brothers had done green and white. And we played these huge, big multiplayer games with this friend who introduced us. He introduced us on slivers. So it was kind of a process. And we also started learning around Mirrodin. So it was kind of a process. But we enjoyed it. We were like, maybe do we? I don't know. It's a great family thing. My parents are really great gamers. It's really wonderful to see. And to have that, like that they want to have a place where their kids can, be together and express themselves. They're an absolutely fantastic support group. The side of my family is really great. But we didn't stick with it until Ravnica came out, the original Ravnica, like Lightning Helix and Watchwolf Ravnica. There's the Cauldre. Speaking of Mirrodin,
give it to Golden Guardian and do more fighting.
Kill Tomer first.
Why?
You have a tapped Cauldre piece. You're 1/3 of the way towards making a 4/4.
Yeah, I still have no idea what any of these Cauldre pieces do. So this one gives indestructible.
Yeah, it's like a really bad Hammer of Nzan or whatever it is.
Really bad? How dare you?
Okay, it's a bad Darksteel play. I'm sorry.
Are you killing? Oh, well, you can just block. Oh no, wait, no, you can't block.
Yeah, the Embrace is still out.
I mean, I have untapped mana. I can destroy an enchantment. That's what I've been saying from day one.
Then you should probably blow up that Doofy Embrace before you die.
I just like it when you say Doofy Embrace. So I'm just gonna chill a bit, I guess. Wait a minute. Oh. Who wants to
be a millionaire?
Richard, you'd block my Tajik, won't you? You have first strike.
Why do you want your Tajik?
Tomer wants to flip that Golden Guardian.
Wait, what?
He needs Tajik
I'm
to die
attacking
so
you
he
with
can
Tajik.
flip the Golden Guardian.
And I don't have
How does
first
this
strike.
work?
Do you want to
I'm
take
super
3,
confused.
Richard? Really?
Wait, are you really just sacking your commander just to flip the Guardian?
Wow.
Is this what's happening?
Looks like.
Or do you want?
Am I missing
do you want to
something?
take 3?
I'm pretty sure
not?
he just wants it to die so he can flip the Guardian into my casualties of 4. Gotta get that land that taps for 2 mana.
I am super confused. I am so next level here. I might just take it.
Yes.
Like, really? Is this worth
Yes.
it? Why do you need more mana? You have so much mana.
Don't I though? It all plays out.
Combat trick
all
me.
plays
Gave it
out.
+1/+1.
Fantastic.
Can't believe you just threw away your commander.
I want to do the flip. All right. Look at this. Look how cool this is.
That is
Look at the value.
Oh,
1 minute.
someone kill the plate.
It's indestructible. How are you gonna
Oh,
get rid
Or
of
did
this?
it?
Exile it.
Oh,
There we go.
hurts.
Look at that. Look at the synergies here, folks. This is why. This is the game. It's all come together. This is why Shield of Cauldre is so good.
That is
Boom.
the most complicated way to get an ancient tune that I've ever seen.
But then, look, you could even pay 4 mana, only 2 of Zirda out to make a 4/4 each turn.
Ooh. Okay. That's pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Okay.
I'm seeing the
Layers.
synergies.
I like it. I
Look.
like it.
I mean,
Alright.
you do have to be alive for any of that.
I
to
know, I'm
happen,
at
but-
11, so either Yuriko kills me or Greven kills me.
Yeah.
I do have 2 mana available, however, and I'm not afraid to use it.
You and you for Wallablurd.
Oh, okay, that's a lot of damage.
Oh,
Wait.
that's gonna kill someone.
It has potential.
I mean,
Oh, do you have a land? Can you Obosh too? Just
No,
rub it in.
I cannot. All right.
I think so. That commander damage is anyone, right? I think it could.
Could be
Yeah,
one flank
pump
it,
in the
I
wall.
guess.
Thump in the wall. This might be a bit I don't know how to do it multiple times at once if I even can.
No, you gotta do it separately.
Yeah. So y'all can just F6 through my entire turn. That'll make it go by faster, right?
Oh, wall of blood.
Oh, wall of blood.
If we have 3 gut shots, we might be able to.
Is Wall of Blood the most combo-y wall in Magic? It's got to be, right? Are there any other walls that are primarily used as like combo pieces?
Wall of Roots.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that a combo piece?
That's a good one.
All right. I think I'm quite at a number that I like just yet.
Still growing.
Still growing.
It's higher than what's needed to kill me, so I kind of feel good about that.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to 21 maybe. Oh, also, that's right, and then cards are drawn if the wall is sacrificed too.
I'll do one more.
Yeah.
Let's be greedy.
Wait, does he die though?
No, I shouldn't, because
No.
I'd lose life.
He loses life equal to toughness, so he goes to like 2 or something?
Somewhere in there.
Perfectly
Oh,
safe. It's perfectly safe. All right. Let's move into combat, which I think I've done. It's pre-combat. Yes.
Can,
Only
can
14.
anyone deal 1 damage?
Wait, do you... Okay.
Should we let him sack it?
I mean,
It's not coming at you.
I can't...
And I promise not to
stop-
You have
attack
a
Seth.
I can't stop it.
You have a bounty agent. You can stop this right now if you want to, Richard.
It's not.
It does stop it
It's not attacking you, Richard. There's someone who I can just menace out right now.
But you're gonna gain so much life. It's not winnable if you gain
You're
that
a
much
life
life.
gain
Oh,
deck.
just let...
But
Yeah.
so the funny thing is, if you sack the wall, right, you would go to 2. I could sack bounty agent. You would go to 1, but I can't deal the other damage. So I really needed that extra extort. Tober, do you want to kill the ghost form or no?
Is it attacking me?
I'm not going to let him attack. I don't think I want him to draw that many cards.
That's so rude,
Then
man.
it only stays on the battlefield. I could get rid of the Dothy Embrace instead, right?
Oh man, don't you just want to watch
Okay,
something amazing
I guess.
happen, guys?
I'm down
I do. I want a simple Cauldre. This is my day. This is
All
my
right,
night.
I will. So Joey, when you get
Uh-huh.
priority, you need to change your commander settings if you want the ghost form to
Ooh.
work.
Oh, yes. So we went.
Thank you.
So when it dies or goes into exile, so it has to go to any of those zones. I would say like go to graveyard instead
Yeah.
of.
Thank you. I
command
appreciate
zone,
that.
and then it will work properly.
Okay, and I just command zone instead of graveyard. I click that, so now it says graveyard, not command zone. Okay,
Yes, that should
Yeah.
work.
unless you
All things are.
destroy the Gaia's coast form. Sure, that's yep.
I don't plan on it.
Close enough.
It doesn't matter because if he does, like, if he casts a spell, then in response you can change
Yeah.
the setting
All right,
back.
beginning of combat step, but not the attack step yet. So I'm not actually clicking on you. I would like to. I'm okay.
Oh, this cruel celebrant.
Yeah, I misplayed that
Why is
earlier.
my life
That
so
sad.
low?
Oh, and Karlov has 6 counters now. Aww.
okay. So you're targeting the Greven, right?
Yes.
Okay. Which is very
Who was
sad.
there?
But
Oh, I
it
thought maybe
should
he had
just
a
come
response.
right back. It's my understanding.
It should, yes. So you don't have to kill me with Yuriko. I would very much. I can help you.
Isn't your Rico 1 damage?
No, but it's
am I
the
missing
card she
something?
flips over is what's killing me.
Oh, the card that
It was like a
flips.
6
Okay,
drop
got
and a
you.
5 drop, and this is Keruga deck, so
Are you trying to talk me out of drawing cards,
murdering
Tomer?
me. Yeah, it's one card set. It's one card, please.
I mean, if you happen to die, that I don't think that's really my responsibility.
I can
I'm
draw
just-
you cards. I'll draw you cards, Seth.
Oh,
I feel upset
Ooh.
about things.
Deals damage equal to its power.
16.
Do you get lifelink?
Ooh, 16 lifelink.
How does this
That's
work?
Well,
sweet.
I'm hoping I'll be able to use the Wall of Blood again, but I'm not sure if I. No, it just already went through it. Okay, so it goes. Was hoping to pump it up and deal even more damage, but I guess not.
Oh.
Oh, you need to
Yeah.
hold priority because you're responding to your own spell.
Oh, yeah, we didn't cover that. ahead of
No
time.
problem.
I didn't get that in time.
It's-
you have the whole like down control when you're casting as well. If you want to respond to your own thing.
No problem. All right, so Greven
Just moto things.
tosses, but then Kaya's
That should work.
gets
yeah.
him back.
Yeah, it returns.
Welcome back.
And you're back up to, and it's still a 15-15.
I've lost so much life this turn.
And gained it all back.
Yep.
Seth, I'll draw you cards if you just don't kill me.
I'm not killing you, Tomer. I'm just drawing cards. If you happen to die because I'm drawing cards, then I mean, I don't think I can do anything. I don't think I can do anything about that, unfortunately. It's not personal. It's just card draw.
One day, Cauldre is going to have its revenge. And you're going to be the first person I attack with it.
I mean, I'm probably just going to flip 2 lands, so I wouldn't worry about it. That seems like the most likely
You have a track
outcome.
record of not doing that, though.
I mean,
What's the most expensive card in your deck? Do you have like Omniscience?
I think
or
its
something?
6-drop is just enough to kill me because of the
Into
blind
infinite?
obedience.
I think there's like maybe up to like 7 or 8. I don't have anything absurdly high.
This should be fun.
No.
2 5-drops would accidentally kill Tomer, I think.
Oh, you get 2 triggers. That's right. I think Yuriko's gonna win. We're all so low.
Well, we'll see.
Just these flips.
We'll
will
see
kill
what
us.
happens. I guess Richard could die too if I flip big things.
Yeah, Richard's at 12. We can both just die right now.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see what we hit.
Come on, lands.
Number
Come on,
1.
lands, please.
Land.
Please, land.
Is
Land.
land. Oh, boo,
Excellent.
boo.
Oh my, what?
Well, great hand.
Oh my
The Great Hedge. How about that?
goodness.
Seems acceptable.
Tomer's not. You're alive, Tomer. I didn't kill you.
There's a cruel celebrant in
Oh,
your
holy you attacked with the 2 dorks.
I actually have to get rid of the blind obedience now.
No, leave it.
I'm at 1! You cast anything, you extort, I'm dead.
I may not cast a spell.
Yeah, actually,
My
Cruel
hand looks
Celebrant
full,
just
but
kills
it's
me
just
too.
land tax going off.
Literally anything kills me. Alright, I think I have to do it.
What? No. Kill the Dothy thing.
What? Why? I'm out of the game.
You better kill it, Tomer. You better kill it now.
Why would I kill the Dothy and
The blind obedience is like an active
Because you-
threat to him.
That is true. It's an instant speed threat, but also any of my creatures dying is also a threat. So you might as well just forget it all and just try to assemble Cauldre
I'll
over
take
there.
out one of the creatures while going out, though.
Wait,
'Cause
how?
You have to attack me and I'll block.
Why would I attack you though?
'Cause you want one of your creatures to die and I have an indestructible 4/4.
I believe I'm more afraid of Seth killing us all than you at one
That
life with
seems
Cauldre
valid.
pieces.
Wow. Alright, I see how it is.
Oh, we're getting casualties award though.
Yeah,
So
what do I casualties?
No!
Tomer's dead because of casualties.
Yeah.
Can't believe you.
Actually, wait. How does the
Lift
card?
the
Do they die
Greven.
simultaneously? What happens? No, yeah. I don't know. Why is he even playing the Great Henge? Why do we get
It
like
says
one of the most
draw a
expensive cards in
card,
his
and
deck?
Seth runs every single card that says draw a card. It's that simple, really.
It is. That is mostly it. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be good in the deck. It just has to draw cards.
So Eureka's done what? How much damage? 12 plus 9
Yeah.
Times
we're
3?
at
Seems acceptable.
21-ish.
times 3? Just casual 63
How do I do this?
plus her actual combat damage.
Yeah.
You could just let me live, Seth. How about that?
I don't know the right way to.
We could be friends.
I think you should wrath the board.
I don't have.
Tomer's dead, but his Zirda would
You
live on.
see it. See how good Shield of Cauldre is? It would keep my Zirda alive.
I was fully expecting him to say, I think you should destroy all lands.
Yeah, destroy all lands. That's the only way.
Surprise! I didn't take out Armageddon. It's still here.
Oh, man.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I think I figured it out. You're not gonna die from me this turn, Tomer. You gotta.
It's comforting. I'm going to die to Richard.
Probably.
I may not extort. Do you have a hasty creature to hit Seth with? He's only at 20 himself.
A hasty creature to hit Seth with would be tapped by the blind obedience that
that's-
is dead so badly.
Yes. That is true.
It's almost like when he says that enchantment's a problem for him, he means it. Almost.
Oh, actually, I don't know what I'm doing now. Oh, wait, I know. I think I figured it out. Oh, wait, we need to
You're
do
going to draw
this.
some
1,
cards,
2.
Seth. That's what you're going to do.
1, 2,
Don't lie
3,
to
4,
me.
5, 6. Yeah. All right, so I think we
Draw your cards.
I think we got to do this.
What? No.
It goes to command zone, so you're fine.
Okay.
Unless I let it die. Which I'm seriously debating because I do have a Lurrus, right?
It would be better in your graveyard, honestly.
That's fair.
How much life do I
That's
gain? I
fair.
gain 1 life? That's not a lot of life.
What are you going to do, Richard?
Tomer.
What are you going to do?
Should I let it die?
I don't know. It's up to you, man. You do you. You do what you think is right in your heart.
How can I kill Seth? Can you protect this?
Give me protect. No, I have a wear and tear.
All right.
And
It's going to command zone. You dodged a bullet.
I feel like I should change that command zone, not graveyard. Just like real quick, I should make that change before I forget.
yeah, when you have a priority, you could do it.
I think I just switched it. I hope it just switched it.
All right,
Can't
so
believe
we
you flipped the great henge.
we get rid of that. 1, 2,
My life.
3, 4. Oh, I'm gonna die to Greven.
Thanks for hitting me with Eureka, Seth. It was great.
I thought
Really
I figured it out,
appreciate
but
it.
I didn't. Why can I not kill Tomer without dying? Oh, I
feel like he wakes up every day and says that.
let's do this.
Why can't I kill him now, though?
Who has direct damage in their deck? Anyone?
Oof. Are you like villain? Oh.
Anyone?
There might be a fling or something in Joey's deck, no? Oh wait, fling is even?
Fling's 2
Can't be
mana.
it.
It's,
Thud.
yeah.
Thud.
Thud.
We'll go. Oh, I guess I could just steal a Cauldre piece.
How dare you?
Wow.
Richard, if you let me
Oh, man.
live, I will do all I can to spite Seth. I will get rid of Eureka for you. I promise you that.
I think I just try to die to Graven anyway.
If
Joey
you
wants me
manage to hit a Cauldre piece, I will go bananas, Seth. Because of my hand right now. There's no way. There's no way.
Plays a Cauldre
You
deck,
did not.
opponent assembles
You did not
Cauldre.
hit a Cauldre piece.
No, I targeted Joey, and I didn't
Okay, good.
hit a
Yeah,
Cauldre piece.
Ah!
No, I want to spite you so
My
bad.
biggest creature's only has 2 power, but it's enough. In my great henge deck,
Target
no
for
less.
your kit. Alright, well, I'm not going to blow up the Blind Obedience now, nor am I going to blow up
It's
the
one of my
Doth
favorite cards in this deck.
I'm going to make sure that this Reclamation Sage...
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna die. I think I'm gonna probably
Can't
just
block.
die too this turn, so.
I had the Helm of Cauldre in my hand. This is why I did not want you to hit the final Cauldre piece.
You were so close. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play Essence Harvest before, and that seems great with Graven.
It's so good. I play that in my Rayhan Ishai deck. I play here in Greven. Like that thing, Graven's power gets off the charts when you pay a bunch of life. And this just recuperates all of it. This is a really, really underrated card.
Oh, sorry, Tomer. I couldn't resist.
You're not sorry? Cauldre will have its revenge. Alright, good game.
Oh, all right. I will be joining you this turn cycle. I bet. I will pass. I can't do anything else. I guess we discard this Great Henge. It did its job by being revealed to Eureka.
That is the most offensive thing that you've said on this entire... We've had our lands destroyed. We've talked about controversial topics. You saying, I guess I'll discard this Great Henge is the most offensive thing. Oh my goodness. How very dare.
It's not like he has big creatures.
Yeah.
That card is cheap to cast. It taps for mana, gains you life, puts +1 counters on your creatures, draws cards, does your taxes, mows your lawn. I can't believe you're tossing it.
He only has
It's
2
so
power.
good. My
right
creatures
now.
are just so small. Oh, but yeah, I agree. It's like it's just insane. I played in basically any creature deck that can cast it. Like, it's just so good.
It's really good to reveal bonkers. Not bad.
Yeah, so when I built this deck, I didn't intend for it to be a ninja deck. Those were like the last cards I added to the deck, actually, because I wanted to do something different. So I didn't put Great Henge in the deck to flip it with Eureka. That just like happened to work out.
Happy accidents.
All right, Richard, what you got?
A lot of lands.
Well, you do have a land tax.
Yeah, it's all land tax. In reality, I have like a 3-card hand. Are we
all lands
just
in
dead
hand
to
is really
Greven
good
no matter
for,
what?
Armageddon, though.
I believe Greven can kill either, well, and kill you for sure. I think that it can probably kill me too. There seems like there's enough life, maybe.
What if can I extort my way out of this? Oh, I have a Lurrus. Does Lurrus do anything? Absolutely nothing. Okay.
Get back your bounty agent.
That's the first time that sentence has ever been uttered. This Lurrus doesn't do anything. I'm on the edge of my
kill
seat.
Eureka? Do we care? I guess if we just block Eureka, we can just block either.
I mean, also Lurrus has lifelink, so that's something.
Yeah, but lifelink doesn't do anything against Shadow.
No.
Yeah.
I thought the Embrace has been really performing well.
Really makes you think. Like, even just putting cards out there that, even if they feel like not efficient on mana, a card that just sits out there that makes people like, ooh, what do I do? Like, having Rattlesnakes is a really cool thing to see how it affects the entire board. Like, I enjoy cards that transform the ways that we think that we're going to play the game. And yeah, that's one of them.
Are you actually going to try to extort your way out of this?
I'm extorting my way to victory. Okay.
I don't think that stops the Greven at all.
I think I've accepted. Greven's going to kill me. I'm just going to knock Seth low enough that it's juicy for him to hit Seth as well. I think this is the plan we're going for. And then I could do this and do that. Okay. How many blockers do I
need? None for Greven. we can't block it anyway. Oh, whoa, Richard. Let's talk about this.
I got nothing. Well, I'm trying to level the playing field here.
I guess.
I appreciate it. I approve.
Present a juicier target than myself.
I gotta keep I can't block anyway, so I gotta keep my life total high enough that maybe Greven can't kill me, so it has to kill you first. I think that's my only realistic hope. Yeah. Sure. Oh, I need one more Eureka attack, and who knows?
Okay, I will Ghostform Cruel Celebrant. This was not why this is in the deck. But, you know, this is what we got. Haha, I'm up to 7 life. Still dead to Greven.
Karlov does
getting there.
Karlov does seem like a good commander choice with Lurrus. I like that.
It's one of the only, right?
I thought you were going to say with Armageddon. Come on. It grows on every combat. It actually finishes the game.
I guess.
But yeah,
I guess that's true.
The lifelink on Lurrus actually grows Karlov. Let me discard some of these ever so useful cards.
Oh boy. All right. What's Greven doing?
That's a great question. What is Greven doing?
Oh, he brought Graveyard Hate. What a responsible player.
I'm usually the necromancer, so I know how much something like that can really, really mess with you. I don't. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. That gives me the sadnesses. Which means I think if only I had more mana, could really use a great henge. You had to put the thing on the thing, didn't you? I think.
Your goal was to kill Cruel Celebrant?
I wonder.
Well, I'm trying to measure up like what I have the chance of actually drawing.
Yeah, now that your Essence Harvest is gone.
Yeah, that's just it. Like, I don't think that I actually have a lot. It's not a high likelihood of me being able to.
So you can like kill us both simultaneously. You must have more like Essence Harvest type effects.
There's a limited number in the odd CMCs.
Odds.
They do tend to be at the 2 mana kind of deal with like the flings and stuff. That's usually what would be in the deck. All right, that's 1/2. This and these for you and you.
Ooh.
Aha!
That is a lot.
Mass Mutiny.
Untap those creatures, they gain haste.
It's like a teensy insurrection.
So are we dead? I don't know what this means.
Yeah, I don't know what this means either.
Flip something.
Yeah, Eureka is turned against me.
I mean, that's not true. I guess it hits Seth, so it flips something.
So this might kill us both.
Yes, I think it will.
So wait, let's see.
Because
And I'm for it.
let's start the wall train.
Yeah. Maybe Joey would just go too far with the wall.
Yeah, maybe he double clicks back and boom.
We laugh at it's
Accidentally.
possible, like, Bono lags, and then he clicks one more time, and then he's, like, dead.
I mean, I've had mistakes already. Plus, I have to attack the right person. Like, I am kind of relying on Eureka to finish off Richard there.
Oh yeah, because Richard can block.
Right. Yeah, he's not a completely open target unless I pay mana, which I might do.
Oh, so yeah.
Does that kill me? Which I think that's what I'm doing.
Do I have 8 Greven damage already?
No, you only have Tajik and
Oh, okay.
Karlov. Somehow Tomer dealt 8 damage to you with Tajik. Before valiantly running into Knight of the White Orchid.
It was because I made fun of Cauldre, I think. Tomer just, when you make fun of Cauldre, he goes into a rage.
Oh no.
Just because it has
Did I go too
8
far with wall?
bad showings doesn't mean it's a bad card combination, alright, Seth?
I think I actually ended up going too far with wall.
Oh.
I think that is indeed what happened.
Oh, because you're at... Did you have to be above 11?
Oh, you can't
What?
sack the wall now.
Oh, because he loses 7 life?
Yeah.
Well, he loses...
Is it power or toughness?
Sorry, I'm pausing real quick because my
Whenever Greven attacks, you may sacrifice an enemy. If you draw cards equal to its power and lose life equal to its toughness. So
yeah,
if it's 7...
I did click one too many times.
Yeah.
It keeps happening.
Well, you can sack the Karlov now.
Or you can just not sack.
You don't need more cards.
Use more cards though. Man, that really changes math. Oh, I feel awful. I've made so many mistakes. But I don't have to sacrifice a creature, so I could just keep going. Let's just move to combat before I make any more mistakes.
Okay. 1, 2, so that's 10, 14, 15. Ugh, I might just be... I think I'm just dead anyway.
What does he need to flip to kill us?
Well, if he flips something that's like a 7, obviously, then we're both dead for sure. It depends on how this attack goes, or where the creatures are going.
Okay. Attacker's chosen. Because I believe I have 8 commander damage on Saffron, right?
No. That commander damage is...
Oh yeah, if you right-click it,
Tajik
it
and
will
Karlov.
say 4 out of 21 is Karlov, 8 out of 21 is Tajik.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't think you've hit...
well.
Maybe you hit Tomer? Who's... Yeah, you hit Tomer.
I think that's what it was.
I have 8
Yeah,
Karlov
Tomer
damage,
has-
too. Thanks
has
for
8.
that.
Yeah. Well, then this is maybe unwise, but it's what happened. Cast instance, activate abilities. I don't want to right now.
Wait,
Sacrifice another creature. No, because the wall would kill me because I'm bad at magic.
slightly too big. Does this mean I might live? Maybe.
Do I block the Eureka or do I block the Karlov?
Oh, I guess it depends on what Eureka hits.
Let's just spin the wheel.
What did you end up blocking? I'm actually having trouble seeing it.
I'm choosing right now. I haven't chosen yet.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't think I have that chat open, and I'm afraid of breaking the game if I...
Karlov? Karlov has been blocked.
Karlov has been blocked. Okay. Which means I can pay...
Are we getting a hatred? Is that what's going? Wait, how much is hatred?
Hatred's 5.
No, hatred's 5 mana.
It is odd though. Oh,
Let's get some life in here.
Yeah.
Oh, gains lifelink.
Oh, yeah, that's what Greven does.
And then pay some more life.
What? Oh. I'm like,
Wait,
I'm so confused.
Wait, can it go all the way? 14, 15, 16.
Slowly watching the clock. I didn't make sure that I really don't pay too much this time.
16, 17, 8. So I think I need Eureka to hit a land.
Okay. One more, and I should be fine. And
All right,
then
that's
I
enough.
am done.
Okay, so land. Come on, Eureka. Eureka's my...
Oh, you're dead
Well,
due to cruel
No, I only
settlement,
take
though.
one, right?
No?
I think.
So if Eureka shows anything about a land, you lose.
Yes, I'm dead to any non-land on Eureka.
I hope it's a Great Henge.
Okay.
Who's?
I would love to flip a great henge.
It's a sneak it
Jordan's
in
attack
there.
triggers.
Hold on, like an ember.
Oh, how do I do that?
If you just click on them, like Eureka, and yeah, there you go. Oh, all right, come on, Eureka. Be good.
All right, let's
Be
see what happens.
good. So if it's a 6, or a 7, we both die. If it's anything, I die. And
What happens?
Yeah. Mono's lagging. Is he trying to compete
come
for it?
on.
Oh, it's a big card. What was it?
it
Oof.
was a 5. Urbras.
Oh, it's an
Urbrask,
Urbrask.
Yeah, good
Okay.
game.
Yeah.
Cool. Oop, what am I doing? Oh,
Lightning bolt.
Sorry.
Lightning bolt to finish it.
I don't think Armageddon gets Richard out of this one.
I don't have Armageddon.
Cataclysm.
Okay, now we follow up with this expedition mop, and then we
it's tapped.
pray.
All right. So you have a scary commander. You grew my Karlov for me.
I did. I wish that was optional.
Oh, you're at 18? Well, you have a... there's a wall in the way.
Lifelink, yo. Blessing of Bells and Lock.
Yeah, there's a wall.
Just play random cards that give you life back, and Graven's happy about it.
So you can actually pump this wall and just kill any creature? That is unfortunate.
Yes, I can.
And then Greven comes back with Shadow, and then I die. That's unfortunate too. But I have a Lurrus. Does Lurrus do anything now? Can I storm off? And blind obedience him to death? No.
He's been waiting for this moment all game, and he busts out the Black Lotus into the Lurrus, into the... Yeah.
You can get like Bounty
All right,
Agent,
I'll
but
play
I mean,
one.
it doesn't have haste, so...
No haste. Do I have a way to get haste? Oh, don't have enough life for that. There are cards I can cast. I feel like I can do something, but my brain does not give me any good answers. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plus he has to... Okay.
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 Got another attacker here.
Okay.
No effect. I think this is the first time I have blocked throughout the entire time we've been playing.
Wall's finally doing what walls are supposed to do.
Yeah. Okay. First strike damage. Dead wall.
Grow things. Wait, where'd your commander go?
Is Richard gonna... The commander's on the battlefield for me. Is Rich...
Oh, it's tucked under
Is
a
Richard
swamp.
gonna win this?
How? Ooh.
No, I see a line.
I mean, there has to be a
guess
response
we-
to Greven, right?
Yeah.
I guess we Lurrus and drain. Actually, no. Okay. Here we go.
End the turn.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There
I
might
think
be
I see
some
what he's up
sneaky
to.
sneak.
This game ended up being really close, right down to the end.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Tomer has like one floating white mana. No, that always throws me
Forever.
off. I don't know why your mana pool doesn't drain when you die.
I wish you'd gotten rid of that blind obedience before you left, man.
I didn't want to spite you or Richard because I knew neither of you were killing me. I wanted to spite Seth. I would have definitely spited Seth if I could have on the way out.
I think
that's fair.
I think I'd have it if that wasn't there.
Scary, hasty creatures.
Scary, hasty creatures.
Well,
Yeah,
what's
because as it is now.
maybe I'm just not seeing the line. Oh, I guess. No, how does he stop you? Ooh,
As it stands here,
Ooh.
How much?
that'll
1,
be
2, 3. You have
3,
4 devotion.
Yeah,
for devotion.
that'll get you.
Okay, that would kill me. We'll have to do this.
For Greven?
This is not ideal.
Just for the. You just want to extort.
I just need the extort.
I paid the 1.
I love
Feel
seeing
free to not pay one though. I'll take that
Yeah.
too.
I love seeing Manitide. I had Manitide sitting in my hand all last game. I was very excited to use it.
I was hoping to manatide the casualties of war when he was going to cast it, but he never cast it.
How do I pay for this? I think I still have to let the
Yeah,
blind
you have to wait
obedience
for
roll. Sorry.
blind obedience.
Oh, that a Johnny Pride, mate. Getting huge.
I told you I'm Soul Sisters.
You basically are. So Richard goes to 1?
So the question is, why doesn't Soul Sisters play Armageddon in Modern?
Oh my goodness, dude.
What is a modern legal Armageddon anyway?
There are actually, the closest one is Thoughts of Ruin. That's the only thing that's even like sort of comparable, and that's a really bad Kamigawa card. It's like 4 mana, but it blows up a land for each player for each card in your hand, I think. So it's actually hard to like dump your hand and then Armageddon. You have to like somehow hold. You have to like make a board and hold a bunch of cards in hand, and then you can get Armageddon.
You just have to do Soul Sisters Blood Moon. Make it happen.
And there it is.
Yeah.
Tomer, you were asking instant speed response to Greven, the commander itself.
I remember
Yeah.
him.
Yep. I didn't want to say it because I'm just like, that's the only way that I lose, but
I also didn't. Yeah, I didn't want to say it out loud either, just in case. Oh.
yeah.
I'm sure the viewers at home are screaming it at me. Or in tab. Like, oh my god, so we read the cards.
Yeah. No, I've got an Urbrask in hand, so if I was able to smack with haste, I think I might have gotten there. But then again, there was the extort trigger anyway.
But yeah, Urbrask and Grey Merchant, though, would have done it, I think, if there wasn't a blind obedience.
Yeah. Blind Elite.
So
So it goes.
close.
Yeah. All right. Well, I told you my whole family plays. I'm used to being destroyed by a Karlov.
He does snowball very
All right,
quickly.
I'll just hear 6 through the whole thing.
Is it Karlov or is it a Johnny's Pride mate? Look at this. This is a big cat. It was like turn 2 and it never died. It just sat here and grew.
It's quite the impressive support state.
Yeah, especially for all 2-mana or less creatures, they actually get big.
There it is.
Okay, so with Armageddon, without Armageddon, Richard still takes it. So we've learned that we kill Richard first, no matter what. Going forward, Commander Clash.
The Lurrus deck won.
I didn't even use my trap card.
He doesn't
Lurrus.
even cast.
I didn't even
Lurrus
get to
is so
cast it.
strong that he doesn't even need to be cast to be overpowered.
We only had one companion cast in 2 games, right? It was just that Obosh from the first
I
game.
cast Zirda.
Oh yeah, you cast Zirda and then fought the golden.
Yeah, I never got to cast Keruga, unfortunately.
Oh.
I wanted to.
All right, I want to start hearing about what everybody had that was in their deck that was cool but didn't get to be showcased. So, Seth, what do you have?
So, I mean, a lot of it you saw is pretty typical, Panharmonicon style stuff, Mull Drifters, and, probably the most unique part, is the ninja sub-theme, which I think is interesting, and I'd like to explore more. I think the other cool part of the deck is cards that try to get around Keruga's, restriction of needing everything to cost 3 or more to speed up the deck. Like, a good example is Avatar of Growth. It's you might know it because I think, Tomer, you've played this before. It's a 6-mana 4/4, and when it comes into play, everyone gets to search for 2 basic land cards, but it costs 1 less for each opponent you have, so technically, it can get down to 3 mana. There's also, we saw, like, the removal spell, Price of Fame, is technically 4 mana, but 2 mana. Like, Shriekmaw is another way to, get around that, having a spell that you can evoke out for a cheaper cost. I also have, like, Submerge, but unfortunately no one was playing green, so I had it in hand, but, no one had a forest, so I couldn't actually cast it for free. So I think that's the most interesting part of the deck. But the idea was basically normal Panharmonicon stuff, but then ninjas are ways you can kind of do something that costs less than 3 mana, and then whatever spells I could find that you can kind of cheat under Keruga's restriction to cast things a little bit cheaper once in a while.
Yeah, I really like that restriction, actually, because then you have to be creative about finding cards that can get around the converted mana cost of the spell so you can cast for cheaper. And I really like that strategy. Like, maybe 5 CMC Tribal with Keruga as a companion would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably
you
be
could.
another project to do.
That sounds like a Tomer deck.
All right, that looked sweet though. I like the workarounds, and yeah, it is. Submerge is such a sweet card, but it is kind of funny that we actually didn't have any opposing green decks to see.
Normally, that does not happen in Commander. You always have someone that's playing green, so having 3 non-green opponents is, unfortunate.
Definitely. All right, Richard, we got to see Lurrus not be cast and yet do very well. Karlov, very scary, snowbally. Also has built-in removal, which totally forgot. So that was pretty sweet. You said it's Soul Sisters. Was there anything pretty sweet that you didn't get to showcase?
So in the first game, before I Armageddon, so I had a choice, and I made a conscious decision to let you guys know. I had to command the Dread Horde. So, Karlov, we gain a lot of life for Soul Sisters, so you can afford to command the Dread Horde. And Joey had an Urbrask and an Obosh sitting in the graveyard. So I could have just taken both and like really smashed someone in the face. Double damage. My whole team has haste. So that's like, I have 5 cards over 2 CMC, and Command the Dread Horde is one of them. My spice tech was Armageddon because, everything in my deck is 2 or less anyway. Karlov snowballs, right? The idea is you play a turn 1 life gainer, turn 2 Karlov, and you just go to town, right? And you saw Johnny's Primate just snowball out of control. So you just play your little dorks, extort people, and then Armageddon, and then there you go. Game 2, I took out the Armageddons, and then we just beat people with a big cat. That worked. But there's a lot of synergies, a lot of seals, a lot of baubles and things for Lurrus. I have a bunch of reanimation spells to get Lurrus back in case Lurrus dies. So it was basically a half Karlov deck and a half Lurrus deck combined together. So the deck was relying on both, but never needed to cast Lurrus. We didn't get many board wipes. We didn't really get really far. People just died instantly pretty fast, so didn't have to grind it out.
Overall, for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of fast games, though, I think a lot of the pacing of the games were dictated by Greven. Just like a very powerful, intimidating commander who could just like explode onto the scene, dealing a ton of damage. We got to see Wall of Blood really showcase one of the really cool synergies of Greven, where they could just like pump it up and then just get all that life back afterwards if you give Greven lifelink. So that was a really cool synergy. Was there anything else in particular in the deck that you didn't get to showcase?
I mean, that's definitely my favorite part of Greven is using Wall of Blood, Necropotence, Doom Whisperer, stuff that lets you pay life just at will to be able to pump him up. And then you'll get those Soul's Fire, those Essence Harvest, Chandra's Ignition. Oh, man. When you have Chandra's Ignition and Greven has lifelink. And like those tiny combat tricks, like the Blessing of Bells Unlock or Butcher's Glee, I think is another one. It's like 3 mana to just like instant speed. Like that's really great because you can attack with Greven, sacrifice something, draw a bunch of cards. You might get one of those combat tricks that gives him lifelink and recovers all of that for you. Yeah, those are a bunch of fun. The Hatred, of course, Greven's famous for Hatred. The pump spell, pay your life, pump him up, get even more pump. It's great. With Obosh, since the Blind Obedience came down in that last game, I didn't feel like Obosh was a comfortable line because I wouldn't be able to haste stuff out necessarily. But Obosh does change the character of the deck quite a bit because I've lost so much of its speed. But Obosh does make the other stuff in the deck a lot more tempting. I would say, like, my original draft of the deck where I could play anything not restricted by a companion, I've got a bunch of mana rocks and a bunch of creatures that I specifically only ever intend to cast and immediately sacrifice to Greven. The Phyrexian Soul Gorgers and the Rotting Regisaurs and stuff like that. But with Obosh, those things now deal like 16 damage, 14 damage, which is also a whole lot. So, you know, there's certainly that. And since I've got more haste stuff in here, more fervor, Hammer of Perforos in the Web of War, since I don't have boots, I have to find haste some other way. Hall of the Mandate Lord, that kind of deal. Like they actually do present as more viable threats. That's what I've seen so far. You do, however, having lost speed, you have to put a lot more board wipes in it. So I've got like the Last One Standing, All Is Dust, Crux of Fate. You have to find a lot of different types of removal to make sure that the board is clear when you start dropping those hasties. The one thing that I don't think I did, that I do really like doing a lot is using like Act of Treason or Act of Aggression or Mark of Mutiny to take someone else's commander and then sacrifice that for Graven's ability, pumping up and making a hit. That's probably the only thing I didn't quite showcase. But like, yeah, he hits like a truck. He's so good. That deck slaps.
Yeah, the threat and effects were actually what I was most afraid of because, at least for my deck, Zirda is so helpful in terms of just ramping out and keeping up with the rest of the table. So every single time I cast Zirda, I was like, please don't steal it. Please don't steal it. I need a little fox guy so badly. But I think even without any theft effects, I mean, Mass Mutiny at the end there showcase a little bit of what can happen. But
a little bit, yeah.
Even without that, just like playing a giant creature that is like undercosted in terms of mana, but can get really, really big, and then you can just sacrifice it to Greven is just one time of that happening. It's such a huge swing. So that was really cool to see. As for my deck, it was surprise a Cauldre deck, and I think Zirda, the restrictions definitely hurts more than helps, because for an equipment deck, the most important cards to kind of keep the deck's pacing so it can keep up with everybody else, because, you know, equip costs a lot of mana, and then you have to cast equipment and you have to equip the equipment, and then it just adds up and it really slows down the deck. You want cards like Pure Steel Paladin, which reduces the equip cost to 0. Sigarda's Aid is also really important to the deck. Those are the two that I was missing out on the most. I do have Hammer of Nazan, which also lets you circumvent the equip cost. Like when a equipment enters the battlefield, you can immediately equip it for free. But I just didn't get to see it. And yeah, the deck was just a bit slow. Like it has 12 ramp sources, 36 lands, 12 ramp sources, and very low converted mana cost curve. The idea is to like just dump out your hand and then have like 3 wheels. Just try to find those wheels and wheel and just like redo your hand and just redump everything afterwards. But it just didn't really pan out. So not much to say there.
I think Joey might have been a little bit upset though, because the main win condition for Cauldre, the thing that I have been trying to do for like 2 years now, is get Cauldre assembled. All the pieces of Cauldre is indestructible. The token, if it ever would die, which would be very difficult, is you just pay 1 more mana and the token pops right back. So World Slayer Cauldre is like the thing that I want to do so bad. And I actually had...
You guys giving me flack for Armageddon.
When that was happening, I had World Slayer in my hand for both games, by the way. And I was waiting to assemble the Cauldre to finally do it. And it just didn't happen. I was like, jeez.
I think that's rad. I hope it didn't sound like no land destruction. Like, that wasn't my take at all. I think that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think it also would be like definitively winning the game, because Cauldre is indestructible. All the pieces are indestructible. It's almost impossible to deal with Cauldre at that point. You really need to, even if you got rid of one of the pieces of equipment, like you did like a Schultz of Plowshares or something on a piece of equipment, Cauldre's still there and will still finish you off. Like, I don't know. I feel like that would be a pretty decisive way to win, but also just the flavor of it. Just one day. One day I'll do it. One day I'll get it done. Not today.
I'm sure you will eventually, Tomer.
Eventually the group will just be like, all right, we have to let him win.
We're going to let Tomer win just so he stops playing Cauldre.
Oh, man. If you say that, though, and when I get a win with Cauldre, I'm just going to jam it like every other game. Just to torture you a little bit. Just to get it done. All right. Well, that wraps up this Commander Clash. But before we go, Joey, we know you mentioned that you are the editor for EDHREC. We know you from the EDHRECast, which I really like, by the way, because not only do you talk about, Commander, but you come at it with a perspective of like, I have all these statistics from EDHREC. So when you talk about like player tendencies and everything, you're like, well, X amount of people played this card. Or I saw when you were talking about like commander upgrades and you were going over like what other people are upgrading and whether or not what your opinion is on that. Like, these are the most popular upgrades. However, are these probably the best cards? And you guys were debating about that. So like EDHRECast has not only just opinions of everybody there, but you also have the stats to back it up, which I find fascinating. And then you also mentioned that you are now doing a weekly stream. What else should the viewers be following? Or did we just cover that all?
Yeah. No, that's we do have the cast that comes out every Friday. Like you mentioned, we go over a lot of different data there. So there are we've got the data to see what are people doing to the precons, what are they changing up there, and we'll opine on whether we think that those are good upgrades or suggest other upgrades too. We'll go over other weird stuff too, like the most unique commanders in each color combination, like these commanders have less in common with the other commanders of that color combo based on the data. Or one of my favorites was how budget statistically affects your deck strategy. Like when you use the budget filters, how does that change the cards that show up in a deck, and how will that alter the way that you play that deck compared to if it was more tuned or had more expensive cards? It's post-produced by the folks at the Command Zone, and they do a terrific job. So in addition to being a lot of fun to listen to, it's a really great viewing experience too. We hope it's really informative. We've also got, the article content on the EDHREC just on the front page. I should mention that because I do have an article series there. It's called Commander Showdown, and I sort of mix and match two different commanders that are kind of similar. My most recent one, for example, at least at the time of recording, was like the Wheels. You've got Shabraz and Brawlin, and then also Xyrus, and then there's also Nikusar, and these are all different Wheels commanders. How do their strategies differ? What do their decks look like? How do those things play? So we've got that, but a bunch of really great writers on the site. Angelo, Kaya, Jeremy, Andrew, there's just a whole bunch of them that do really great work there. We do stream on Wednesday evenings, like you mentioned. I'm doing a series on YouTube called Upping the Average, where we take the average deck list on EDHREC and make some tweaks to it to make improvements to that original average list. It's a bunch of really great stuff going on. The whole bunch of content from EDHREC that you can find, and it's really great to be a part of it because there's a lot of information that you can find there, and that means that you're gonna find good stuff for your decks, and that's what we want to do. We want you to EDHREC your deck before you wreck your deck, as we like to say.
Very sweet. And also, EDHREC is a pillar of the community. It is the go-to place. If anybody has any sort of commander suggestions or recommendations or need advice, EDHREC is the first place I would mention to people to check out if there's any particular thing that they're looking for. So Great to have you on. And also everything that you mentioned there, I'm going to try my best to make sure that in the video description below, underneath this video, you can find all of those. But yell at me or viewers yell at me if I missed anything, because it's going to be there. Or it should be there. And,
awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was really, really, really awesome. Even with, not quite being able to get those last few points to destroy the ground.
So close.
But no, oh my god, it was so great.
Things. And also the game didn't crash, which I think is just like applause to Moto there, because we were on a little bit of a losing streak on that part. But woo! All right, and that will wrap up this Commander Clash. Hope everybody enjoyed, and we'll see you all next week. Bye! Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up with the latest and greatest, click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to check out similar videos, click on the links here and here.